And we are live, I believe. Can everybody see and hear us?
It looks live. I see the little red box in the corner. So.
Oh yeah, there we go. And we are live. Cool. I believe. Can everybody see and hear us? Oh no, this sucks. You know what? There's a delay with our voices. I think we're gonna have to like mute. Yeah, there we go. We are live. Well, I believe. I have to mute. See and hear us? Oh no, this sucks. You know what? There's a this is delay with our voices. I think we're gonna have to like mute. There we go.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So good, loud and clear, says Adrian. Hey, Sean. Hey,
how do we go live?
Good.
Hey, Clays, what's happening? Clays Isaacson. Seeing all you guys jumping on. Thanks for joining us. Terry's back.
Do you think Clays is Klaus? Do you think it's pronounced Klaus?
No, I think it's probably Clays, but I could be wrong.
I think I called him Klaus.
He'll have to give us a phonetic spelling. So the deal is I have my channel open, Bonhomology, and there's like a 7-second delay.
Oh,
so I had to mute it because it was screwing me up. Oh, cool. Somebody got the PFOZ shirts. Bonzo O'Donnell, thanks very much.
Absolutely. Yeah, I got to get that.
Everyone who's bought a PFOZ shirt, appreciate the support. What's up, Terry? What's up, Billy?
Not much.
Finally, we got this together.
It's good to hang out and not have a mask on for a sec. And
use the truth.
Yeah, hunkered down in the basement here.
George, can we say how great Good Times, Bad Times was? It was terrific.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, Ty is working on 2 more songs already.
Nice.
He's like super motivated right now, which is really cool. So that's really really nice. Thanks for connecting us, Terry. That's great, man.
I got to tell you, he delivers the goods. But I'm telling you, man, you're a machine, George. I'm telling you. Someday we have to make a video on how you put together a live, like if you're like, I'm going to do a 1972-ish immigrant song. That's impressive, even how you put it together. Apart from what you're playing, and even if you were not a good player, I mean, putting together the arrangement, you know what I mean? Like laying the groundwork for the other guys to put their shite on.
Thanks. Yeah, well, I find it's easier to do that really for me than to, work with some kind of a reference like a click or play with the other instruments first.
Well, even the original studio recording is sometimes hard because it does move. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And that's what makes it, feel human, though. So
yeah, right.
So some people are joining us here from Chicago. We got Matthew Paluk. Let's see, Mario Bell. Hey Mario, what's going on, man? Live from shop. Mario's son is Nico. I don't know if you guys have seen any of the Instagram posts that I've shared on PFOZ, but his son is, I think, about 5 years old or so, and he's amazing. This kid is like a Zeppelin fanatic, and
really?
Yeah, he's such a charismatic character.
All right.
Great little guy. And he's got his own custom-made mini PFOZ. So I don't know if you guys have seen any.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I brought up the Bonhomology one just to check out the delay.
You couldn't resist, huh?
You remember the time the horror show when it was you and me and you saved my ass? And it was like, oh my God, I'm freaking out.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. We got how many people here? About 40, almost 50 people. That's awesome.
That's a good chunk, man.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing this for a long time, but for some reason, even though it's a pandemic, we all have our schedules, to align for it. So, Billy, what's been going on with you? Have you been digging into any more Bonham research or Kit? Any news?
I mean, I always take a little sabbatical to recover because you're always looking at pictures for hours and looking at dates, and this stuff gets a little,
right,
a little intense. So I'm coming out of hibernating for the second time during quarantine. I got like a long list of stuff. It's always the thermoglass kit that I like to nerd out on and figure that, find random photos and stuff.
Thanks to you, we got a lot of really great new info about that kit.
And it's always changing a little bit. I can't remember all what we talked about, but there's weird stuff with bottom taken pieces and like not playing with certain drums on certain dates,
Right.
It's always a bizarre thing.
Somebody just asked, I don't know if you guys can see the stream of comments.
Yeah,
Terry, maybe you can open it too.
Oh yeah, I got it. I see
on the right side it says comment. Yeah. So somebody just asked, what did Bonzo use to record Presence? It's impossible to know really, really for any album unless there's photos. Like for the second album, there's pictures of him with the thermoglass kit.
Yeah.
For Houses of the Holy, there's pictures of him at Star Groves, I think it is, with the green sparkle. But who knows what he played for Presence? There's rumors, Yeah. I think Jason recently said that he used the
green sparkle kit. Yeah.
What's up, Tony? My old buddy Tony Cicercia. Hey, Tone.
Hey, Tone.
How you doing, buddy?
Adrian Manuel. Oh, check out. Adrian's asking about a 6-lug amber RCI. I have one right there. I got one from the RCI fellas.
I don't know what the difference is, Terry. Do you know? Do they have different bearing edges?
No, they're about. It's almost the exact same drum. It's from where I'm sitting. Yes, it's a little heavier actually. I think.
Wait, then a vintage one or the Ludwig reissue?
Then the Ludwig reissue. I mean, I much prefer the reissues because they're softer. They're not as brittle as the originals were.
Yeah.
RCI makes good stuff. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
But there's my 8 lugs right over. My 8 lug is over there. And the 6 lug is back there. But yeah, I would say if you could do it, get it. I would say it would. I mean, it'll be lighter because the less lugs and stuff. I mean, it should be.
More accurate.
There was a kit at Brueggen's. It was an RCI kit, full Bonham kit, and I played it. They had a little video and they posted it on their.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah, you may have seen that, and I love that kit, man. I wish that I had the space and the money at the time to buy it.
Yeah.
I would have bought it. It sounded and felt great to play.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got to loan your mind at least to make a whole bunch of 73, 75 videos.
Yeah, I should do that at some point. Yeah, I'll try to do that.
Through my glass.
Somebody said, where's the black sparkle kit that was to have smaller sizes? Also, why the smaller sizes? I don't know. You want to venture a guess on that? I don't know if it ever was really produced.
There's no evidence of it. There's not a single sentence from anyone at Ludwig. It's just, it's a cool idea. But I have no idea where that came from. I'm sure is it in A Thunder of Drums? Is there like a small?
Well, the first I ever heard of it was Bill Townsend told me that back in 95 or 6.
Uh-huh.
He said that he ordered that he was going to get a black sparkle kit, 24, 13, 16, 18. Of course, that would have technically been a 6-ply kit, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Again, that's all could be.
Right, that's true.
I don't know about the.
I'm just trying to keep up with everyone's comments. Somebody had asked if they knew what the sizes were of the Black Swirl Vista kit, and I thought that bass drum was a little smaller, like a 24, but
no? There was like a Bonham size. There's a 14, 26, and then I think it's 18 and 20.
Yeah, the Mick Fleetwood.
That photo. I've seen pictures of outside.
But they were extra drums, right?
But there was extra drums, and they're concert toms. And that picture of Bonham where he's playing at home, that bass drum, for some reason, it looks smaller to me. You can't see the whole bass drum, but it looks like a 22.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely, I would say it's a 20.
Yeah. And then the concert toms almost look like 8 by 12 and 9 by 13.
It looks like he's got a 22-inch 2002 and a pair of 14-inch Avitas Zildjian hats and an 18-inch Crash. You can see the stamps in the top.
You can see the Zildjian stamps, yeah. So when people say Bonham never played Zildjian, that's not really, accurate. And also, you don't know what he played at home. I mean, he might have had some Zinn cymbals, from back in the day. Who knows? I often wonder what he was playing on the first album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably that Slingy kit, or possibly that Black Diamond, man. You never know.
You never know. Yeah. Oh, the Black Diamond.
I would swear I hear just one floor tom on Zeppelin 1.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I don't think you hear it. I mean, I think even for most of Zeppelin 2, it's one floor tom.
Yeah. Since I've Been Loving You, I know that it was on Zeppelin 3. And I know Jimmy Page has said, we recorded that. And said, but I can't help but think that the rhythm bed they used for Since I've Been Loving You was from 69. Because if you really listen to that, it's one floor tom.
Definitely.
And one crash. Since I've Been Loving You has one floor tom and one crash.
Yeah.
And picture of those guys in the studio in 69 shows a ride, a crash, and one floor tom. And the Hammond B3s right there. I can't help but think that was where they tracked.
Getting a lot of questions now. I'll try to move things along. Hey, Tate, what's up? Good to see you here. Tate Durkee is here.
Tate,
great young drummer. Yeah. And Piotr, good to see you.
Oh, he's asking about the Giant Beat white label.
Somebody asked about my Giant Beat.
It says, George.
Oh, yeah.
To know how,
I don't know. Sorry, Piotr. I'm not sure, but
my experience in Georgia.
Maybe I wrote it under.
It should be like 2953. It's like 2,900 to 3,000.
Yeah, it's actually under here. Hang on a sec.
Yeah, the cymbal weights on the original Giant Beats and the reissues, all in the 24s, are all generally 29, like I think 30 to about.
This is 2893.
Oh, there you go. So you got a slightly thinner, but yours has a cool hammering on it though too. Yours has a real fine.
It's got small. Yeah, it has like these small. I don't know if you can see it. Small hammer mark.
I wonder if that was like the first hammering they might have used, because I never saw that hammering. 90%, 95, 98% of the time you see hammering that.
Peisty Bob said the same thing about it.
Yeah, I got to go back to the live picture though, because it's wrong.
So that's it.
You said yours is
2893.
2893, yeah.
Yeah.
You're all about 2950.
Oh, hey, Ty is on here. What's up, Ty?
Ty is
a great vocalist who joined PFOZ for our first vocal version ever. He did a killer version of Good Times, Bad Times, and he's already jumping on a couple more tunes. He said Titans of Drumberg.
I'm telling you, Ty's a machine.
Yeah, Ty.
Terry, he's appropriated your lingo. And then there was some other ones. It says, sorry, guys, I'm trying to keep up with everyone. New Speed King, I'm waiting for mine.
Oh, you ordered one?
Good. I'm still waiting. I don't know why it's taking so damn long. It's kind of frustrating. Somebody is here from Tallinn, Estonia. I played in Tallinn about 10 years ago. I love that city. I remember the Pepper Sack restaurant was really good.
The Pepper Sack?
The Pepper Sack. Yeah. That was the only place on earth. Tallinn, Estonia was the only place on earth that I'd ever seen an Indian menu, and they had moose vindaloo on the menu.
Is that a Baltic?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that
moose vindaloo? It sounds like an Indian wrestler's name.
Pepper Sack sounds like something else.
Sorry, going back. Now, let's see. Somebody said something about the spacing being off on the rail consulate. It should make a difference, would it?
No. Just your setup. You might have to adjust the rail a bit more,
Uh-huh.
But
another question was the staccato kit that Bonham played with Rockestra. Now that Billy, so maybe some of you don't know, Billy Harrington, who's joining us, did a great article on John Bonham's Maple Thermogloss kit that came out in Modern Drummer, I think last year, right? Or maybe 2 years ago now?
Yeah.
2019.
Coming up, yeah.
Yeah. And he went to Paul Thompson's house and took photos and got the dirt on the kit. Like he really, got up close and made the discovery or the confirmation that the bass drums are in fact 15 inches deep. Like we all kind of surmised over the years. But anyway, I just wanted to introduce you because a couple of people were like, I'm not familiar with.
Yeah. Who is this guy?
So anyway, so about the staccato kit, do you guys know any more about that? All I know is, he used it on that session, but my My feelings are he might have used it for Bonzo's Montreux because of all the different tom tones that you hear.
I think that's very possible.
Yeah, there's that roll at the end of the tune, right? And the toms sound so small. They sound like,
right.
They sound like rototoms or something, like 8, 10, 12, or 6, 8, 10.
Yeah, they're like, they have that higher tone.
They're so up there, and they don't really appear again in that track, like that sound doesn't. So it's really interesting. Yeah, I mean, I could see him dragging that along.
Yeah,
but it's like, how much gear are you going to have sent to a studio that you don't normally work at? And I don't really know. Like, I could also buy that there was just a bunch of drums set up there, but I don't know.
Exactly. Like you never know. There might have been drums there that he added. It's like, oh, these are cool. Let me try these,
Right. So,
or he might have been like, I want my Vista Light kit. I never recorded anything with it.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Ship the son of a bitch to Switzerland. and Mick Hinton goes, well, okay, boss.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
governor.
It says, do you guys happen to know, Forum 13 says, do you happen to know if Bonham ever recorded with Formula 602 15-inch sound edges? I think he did. I mean, I think Rock and Roll and like Zeppelin 4 is likely, right, Terry? Because he had those sound edge 15s in 1970. Those would have been 602s.
Yeah, and also the information that Marcel Vogelman got from Pisces, that one sheet that shows some of the symbols that he got.
Yeah,
that shows a few pairs of 15-inch 602s too. And at that time, before the 2002s came out, they just called them sound edge. They didn't even, because the only sound edge you could get was 602.
Right. Yeah. Boy, there's some kind of specific questions about Bonham using high accents.
75.
What's that?
We're up to 75 people.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, man. Says, let's see what else. I'm trying to keep up with everyone.
Hang on a second. Piotr, and I quote, did you know that there were Giant Beat white label sound edge hi-hats? Really, there's an offer from Denmark from $490.
I think those are custom fucked with.
Oh, yeah, I think I've seen those. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Am I supposed to not swear on here? Is this like...
Oh my God, our views are crashing and burning. No, I've seen that pair. Yeah, that is definitely a Fugaz. Somebody did that themselves.
Yeah, somebody took like a crimper,
A crimple.
Yeah. Billy, somebody says you're a beast and you had the Bonham hair and chops back in high school.
That's definitely my buddy Brian. What's up, Brian? Yeah, man.
Let's see. Tate Berkey's got some folks here who are chiming in. That's cool. Rumor had it that Staccato tried to get both Bonzo and Mooney as first endorsers.
That's interesting.
Never heard that one, Matthew. Yeah. That is interesting. Do you have a source for that? Not that I don't trust you. It's just like, it's always interesting to me. Like, we hear these things and I wonder what the sources are. Like the Black Diamond Pearl kit. Terry, you got some info. Do you want to talk about that, or?
Yeah. Do you want to get ready to put the pictures up?
Yeah. Actually, let me see if I can do that.
So we because George and I and Billy have clout with those in Bottomville. No, what happened was this guy's. Hang on. This guy sent the pictures. I gotta find them. No,
I'm gonna look for them. Do you have them easily available and can share your screen, or I'll find them?
I'll try. Hang on a second. Here we go. Tom Gavrilovich sent us the pictures. I can see them right here. I see his face. He's like this.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, how would I share them? Is there a way for me to?
Oh my God, this is like terrible internet here where I am. So
hang on a second here. I'm going to try and.
They're not opening up for some reason.
They're not.
No.
What button are you hit to?
I think I don't have enough bandwidth or something, and these pictures are not opening up.
No, shut.
Could you possibly share? Do you see something where you can share your screen, Terry?
Well, I'm looking. Hang on a second, because
it's at the bottom.
At the bottom, I see mute, stop cam. Oh, share screen.
It's like right under your face.
Sorry. Hang on a second here. Share screen. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see if you can do that, and it could.
Entire screen. Hang on a second here. Let me do this. Let me get my screen. Hang on. Give me a sec. TikTok.
Cool question. All right.
Let's see, here we go. All right, hang on a second. Hang on. You know,
I changed the layout so we're more equitable.
Sure. Can you see it?
No.
Can you see it now?
No. Well, I'm not on Bonhomology though.
Oh, Ring of Fire.
No, I don't see it.
Hang on a second here.
Oh yeah.
Son of Buck. I'm looking at it right here. It's so magical looking too. Now, let me hang on a minute here. This is share screen.
Oh, here we go. Okay, now let me know if you know if I can share.
We're sharing the screen. What's an application window? Chrome tab.
Do you see it now?
I think so. Hang on. Let me know if this works. Can you see it?
Nope. Oh, yeah. There we go.
There it is.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so let me know. Can you see that?
Can you kind of see that?
Yeah. Look at that.
So can you see that?
Yeah. Well, Terry, close yours now because I got mine on. So close yours.
What do you want me to close?
Don't share your screen.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
Stop sharing your screen.
I will stop sharing. Okay, so you got yours open.
Yeah. Now, can you all see that?
Yes. So
okay.
That's Tom Garavlovich.
Okay. Now, do you see that there's a snare there? It looks like a Jazz Fest snare matching, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Matching, but it's not of the right era, so it's probably not with that kit.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, do we want to talk about what this is? Do people know what this is?
Yeah, Terry, give us some background on this.
Well, if everybody recalls, very early in the Led Zeppelin 1968 into 69 American tour, the first tour, John Bonham was playing a black diamond pearl Ludwig kit, which turned out to be a 14x22, 9x13, and two 16x16s. And then when he got the endorsement, he put those babies aside and got his thermos. But you can see the pictures of it, most notably at the Gonzaga pictures, right? Mm-hmm. Gonzaga University. There's a busload of pictures, and you can see Bonham on the Black Diamond kit there. And then apparently the kit was given to Robert Plant by Bonham, and Robert Plant just auctioned it off, like a year or two ago?
Like a few years ago, and it was supposedly auctioned to, I think it was Paul Allen for the music experience, but I don't know if it's been put on display there.
No, really?
That's what I heard. Now you could see this kit. It's a 22 bass drum.
Yeah, with the rail.
Yeah, 13x9 and two 16-inch floor toms. There are other pictures of this kit with Plant standing behind it, and then even the photographer's son playing the kit.
Right.
And there you could see the little Bonzo tag on the hard shell case.
Yeah. And then it has two sets of retractable telescopic spurs, just like his thermos, too.
Right, right. And now you can see, I don't know if you can see this, but behind, I'll try to zoom in.
Wow, that's nice.
Well,
the Richie Hayward case?
Yeah, there's a case there, if you could see right there, a red case that says Robert Plant. It kind of has like that Principle of Moments look to it.
Font?
Yeah, the font. And it says Robert Plant, Richie Hayward. So I wonder if Planty brought in, and there's another case there that says Richie Hayward. See right above his head?
Yeah.
So I'm going to just jump out of this now, but you can see where, maybe Plant was trying to clear house a little bit, and he brought in a couple kits that he had in his garage or barn or whatever it was. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of interesting, but we don't know for sure if that's the kit that was used on Led Zeppelin 1. We just know that it was used for sure on the U.S. tour from late December to about January 20th or so, I would say.
Yeah, right.
At which point he would have got the maple thermogloss.
George, Platinum 21 is asking about Jimmy Sakurai. He says, what do you think?
Oh, yeah.
You want to
Oh, well, yeah, he's incredible. I mean, you know, he's probably the most authentic replicator of Page for sure. I mean, in all ways. It's almost like cosplay, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got everything down: the look, the moves, the licks, the eras. But we didn't play together personally, but we did he did one video with PFOZ. We did Carousel Alhambra, and he was a guest on that. So it would be nice if he joins us for something else. There's nothing else planned right now, but
right.
Yeah.
But he'd probably would love to play with you, right? I mean, like maybe in Japan.
Well, he asked me to do one gig.
Yes, I wanted to.
I didn't do it. But it ended up for the best anyway, because Frankie Benally, who was playing with him normally, ended up doing the gig, and it was one of the last gigs that he did before getting really sick, and he passed away recently. So
yeah,
you know, it was good that Frankie did that gig anyway.
Sure.
So Thomas Hope said, "Holy F, is this that kit?" Yes, it is. That was the kit, and it was sold. It was auctioned to. I heard Paul Allen.
Real fast, Liquid Sins is asking about Bonham having some sort of muffling on his snare on Royal Albert Hall. Our answer is yes. That you
probably
times where you can see him manipulate the tone control a couple of times.
Yeah, I think in general he used it, unless he was playing a song where he wanted a more open sound, like Moby Dick, of course.
Moby Dick, he'd always take it off.
But I think Royal Albert Hall is so reverberant anyway. Like John Paul Jones said, he really didn't like the acoustics of Royal Albert Hall.
John Paul Jones?
Yeah. So I mean, it recorded great, you know, because you have all that natural ambience. But Jones said he preferred the smaller rooms to the big concert halls. He said, like Royal Albert Hall and Carnegie Hall, they're made for classical music.
Yeah, right.
They're made to resonate forever, you know.
Yeah. And their rig is amazing. You know, they've got, you know, Bonham has like a U67 hanging in front of the bass drum.
Yeah.
You never see that nowadays.
No shortage of those.
Yeah.
10 million people smoking, and they're like,
yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Somebody asked if the recording of PJ, you know, PJ Proby's Jim's Blues and all that, that's probably the same kid that was a month before Led Zeppelin, or less than a month before.
The same, doesn't it? Literally.
Yeah. Sounds totally the same. Concepts or techniques that are absolutely necessary to start working toward playing like Bonham. I know he's big in big band swing and New Orleans shuffles. Yeah, I mean, if you listen to those types of music, for sure, you know, it'll help you. It definitely won't be a hindrance. But Bonham, I think, really loved R&B and soul drummers, like from Motown and Stax Records. So, you know, if you listen to any classic like Aretha Franklin, Otis Redding, Sam and Dave, you know, that kind of business, Little Richard, it's important to be able to try to get some of that feel in your playing.
Yeah.
You know, as a basis. Also, like even old Elvis records.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because it's not, the thing is that style of playing.
Eddie Cochran.
People always think it's sort of binary between eighth notes and triplets.
Exactly.
There's a whole gray area in there, you know?
Yeah.
You have like, and also, just very slightly swung.
Steve Jordan, I've heard Steve Jordan talk about that, playing in that crack between the eighth notes, or it's almost like a superimposition of straight eighth note feel with a triplet feel intimated as well.
Yeah, right.
The kind of the clash between the two. Like if a bass player's going dun 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 dun, or the piano's going dun 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 dun, that's pretty much straight eighth notes or 16th notes, but the drummer's going do fa 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 do fa 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 do fa 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 do, but you've got this going on too.
Right.
It's a nice tension, you know.
Yeah, it's the rub between the two rhythms.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, there's a little clip of Steve talking about that on YouTube. Everyone should go watch that. It's just about sort of the rock and roll feel.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Steve Jordan, man, he's great, and he just did a Rick Beato interview recently that was really good too.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah,
really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Just trying to catch up with some of the
Yeah, we gotta. Let's keep up on those comments because a lot of people have tuned in and they have.
How do you guys feel about Carter McLean's playing? I think he's incredible.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I mean, I haven't heard of him on a record. I've just seen him on Instagram and stuff.
Right.
He's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a really beautiful sound too. Like his sound and his touch are great, and his way of phrasing fills is great. I really like him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bernard Purdy on Rock Steady. Exactly, Tate. That's the vibe.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I would say Adrian real fast asking about the 15-inch modern 2002 sound edge hats versus the original 602. The original 602 sound edge hats are pretty thin. They're B20 alloy, of course, too. But you know, I would say if you could get yourself, if you want a nice combo, there it'd be like you know, they do have they started making prototype Giant Beat hats. This is, I mean, Giant Beat sound edge. This is a 15-inch sound edge prototype.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, I would say
Harry Keating special.
No, gave it to me was no well Eric Peisty, if you remember when I always talk about that, was going to make me a pair.
We won't bring that up.
Well, yeah. I know. I won't, that's the last time I'll bring it up. But Peisty did make and sell a lot of the prototypes. I wonder if one of the big American stores ordered like 200 pair or something. I keep waiting for them to maybe pop up on the Peisty site. You know.
Yeah, I mean, he says for Bonham playing, I think both are great. You know, because Bonham as well, he changed. You know, when he was using Sound Edge 2002 hats, they're definitely, I think they're a bit brighter and just harder sounding. You know, they cut more. The old classic 602 Sound Edges are a little bit warmer. Yeah. You know, they're sweeter. I wouldn't characterize 2002s as like as sweet as a 602.
Well, they're sweeter, but you know, the good thing about 602s, both old and modern, they do have a very, even though it's still B20, they still have that Peisty, more metallic, crystal shimmer, which is
they have that shimmer, but it's almost like it's a pretty sound, you know?
Yeah, honestly, I have a set of vintage sound edges that are the 2002 sound edges that are 15s, but they're so heavy that they just like, I would never use them unless I'm trying to cover like a Presence track, because you know it has that sound, like it's such a big sound.
Yeah, and that's a distinctive sound too, like the 77 tour.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's that. It's just like the hi-hat is loud in that mix on every bootlegs and stuff.
It's just really cutting through. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Exactly.
Just saying hello to some people. Walter White asks if I played the PST 8 symbols, the post-traumatic. I don't know what those are. What do you know what they are?
Yeah, the PST8, the Peisty sound technology. The 5, the 7s, the 8. Leave this to me, George and Bill.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know anything about it.
Hand it over to you.
They're great symbols, and I mean the PST8. I wish they were a little thinner, but they have like a Giant Beat, real fine lathing. But they have a bigger. They're sort of a cross, kind of between. They're. I mean, I don't know how. I should. It'd be nice if they had like an 18-inch thin crash, which maybe they do. But they have the fine lathing, and they have, in a lot of the models they have that bigger hammering. You know, sometimes you'd see on some of the 2000s, in a lot of like the 1000s. You know what I mean? Like sometimes toward the edge, you'd see a really big hammering, almost nickel quarter sized. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure.
Somebody asked which Zeppelin songs would be good examples of R&B influences. I mean, there's so many grooves that are an example, like Trampled Underfoot, for example.
Yeah.
Or even Your Time Is Gonna Come, the way he plays that beat. It's a slower beat, but it's definitely got that kind of ghosting feel. You could hear that like that would be like a Muscle Shoals rhythm section kind of vibe.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, now that I'm put on the spot, I get, thinking about it. You guys got any?
I was going through some tunes today for a gig that I'm playing in a couple of weeks, and Hey, What Can I Do is on that list.
Absolutely. Same with Traveling Riverside Blues.
Yeah, that track is like amazing because it has so much push and pull. Not even just the end of the phrases where there's like an extra 2 counts, and it's sort of up in the air before it comes back, But it's just like, if you want to practice that kind of the rub between eighth and straight eighths and swung, it's like you just have to get into that song and just play it. And you can really, I mean, I like to like play the tracks and move myself around over the drums. You know?
Right. Also the 12/8 kind of grooves he did, like what's that tune? There was a time, you know, the one with the I used to call you my very own. Oh
yeah, tribute to Burt Burns, the Baby Come Home.
Baby Please Come Home. Yeah. The way he plays on that, I mean, that's straight up soul drumming, you know.
Yeah.
Another one would be like kind of in a way St. Tristan's Sword, although it's a totally unique Bonham beat to me. Like that's one of those beats that's inspired by a New Orleans kind of groove, but he did his own thing with it to play with the riff.
Yeah, right. It's a riff on drums, man. Yeah,
it's a riff on drums. I mean, that sounds like the Meters or something to me.
Brought up Down by the Seaside.
Exactly. That's another one. Perfect example of that.
Down by the seaside.
Of that rub.
Inch by inch.
Step by step. That's right. Yeah.
And then there's also like, more funny references that aren't trying to be like serious references, but they're more of like funny nod to, you know, tip of the hat to like James Brown and stuff, like the crunge. Like the crunge is like getting into that, but it's also, you know, I think they're just having fun with the idea of making a James Brown-esque tune for a second, but it's more of a jam and it's
Somebody asked if we've used the Pro Muco bottom sticks. I have a pair here that Terry laid on me. I actually haven't played with them though.
You know what?
They're great.
Yeah,
actually, what do you guys feel about them?
Billy and I have the sticks.
Yeah. Now, so we were talking earlier.
Hickory, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They're really, really sturdy. That's for sure.
Yeah, they are. They seem well made.
I like the feel and the weight. You know, we were talking about it. It's not exactly the profile, really, of like a Dina Donnelly or the Ludwig 2A, you know, that existed before that.
Right. I'm waiting on my prototypes. Here are the Billy. I'm going to lay some of these on you. I
want to get some of those too.
Yeah.
Sorry, George, none for you. But I'm going to have a whole busload, George. I'm going to hook you up. There's
man.
But these are the 2Bs, and these are really good too. These are, you know, and the hickory my guy in Wisconsin uses. It's like the John Bond. It's like the Pramucos. It's a real heavy duty hickory that solid is. I think so many people are used to these breaking on them, George, like you say, is sometimes they're really dried out after 50 years.
Yeah, man.
And then they snap.
I mean, I used a vintage pair, not real vintage, but like an 80s pair of 2Bs, Ludwig 2Bs that I got off eBay. I used those for Bonzo's Montreux. And I mean, you know, I spent, I don't know, an hour or so recording that, maybe 2 hours. And by the time I was done, one of the sticks was already broken at the shoulder. And I was like,
but that's already
really, I wasn't even hitting them that hard, but
remember 1990s, 30 years ago. So 30 plus years old sticks.
Yeah, probably closer to 40, yeah.
Yeah, when they lose their juice.
So Rich Huffnagel said, off topic, no one has figured out Good Morning Little Schoolgirl, Bobby Caldwell. Okay, I'll try to figure it out.
George's cranium.
Sometimes I think there are certain things that are best left unfigured. You know, they're almost like little eternal mysteries that burn. But I'll check it out.
I think that's why Jimmy Page, though, is giving us the cold shoulder. Because he's like, you know, you're not out of my dead little hands, you will get the secrets.
Right.
My gosh. Try to find one picture from inside of Headley during a session. It's like,
oh my God.
No, I know. And even like there's those pictures from Olympic, and then there's pictures from, for some reason, there's more pictures from the second album, like in the US, like when they were at A&M in LA.
Yeah, Atlantic or whatever.
And then they were at in New York, right?
Yeah, and then is it Mirror Sound where he's sitting in front of the wood wall and you see that little Beatles, don't let me, one hanging over.
Yeah,
right.
And
I kind of an odd miking on that one, right?
It's bizarre. Yeah.
But I think because they did, I think on that, I think they recorded the drum solo proper for Moby Dick and the intro outro at separate studios.
Think so, yeah. It looks like somebody had a question, Terry, or a comment. They're coming fast. Astrum says there was a video you did 8 years ago about playing behind the beat. You got into other drummers and temperament and how that dictates the feel.
Oh, sorry, I was just reading Astrum's comment about the energy drink addiction.
Anyway, but whatever.
I mean, temperament definitely dictates the feel, right?
Well, totally. If you see somebody that's tightly wound like me, I mean, my natural temperaments play a little ahead of the beat because it's very subtle. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, like I always say, if you have a big crowd of people, like you can hear it on "We Will Rock You" by Queen, right? It's not, you know, even though it was just them, you know, overdubbing, but you know, everybody has a slightly different feel. Like when some people consistently be ahead, some people consistently be on, some people consistently after, and other people will be all over the joint all the time. But Bonham, I think, really had sort of a here I am, I'm playing with it. What are you going to do about it? This is it, and this is what we're doing.
Yeah,
you know, as cool as a cuke, and he just, you know.
I think like a lot of drummers too, you know, fills can pick up and then the groove settles back in.
Yeah, right.
Like with Bonham. You know, a lot of jazz drummers do that too. I can think of several.
Well, because it sounds awkward sometimes if you don't.
Yeah, I mean, there's a kind of excitement that comes with the fill, almost pushing a little bit ahead.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not talking about rushing because it sucks when you feel like a drummer is rushing every fill.
Yeah.
But what I mean is there's like an urgency in the fill that isn't in the groove.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the video that Rick Beato did, taking one of the Into the Outdoor tracks and quantizing it?
I think it was "Fool in the Rain," right?
Yeah.
He had a couple, I think, but yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I saw the one on "Fool in the Rain." Yeah, it was really weird.
I wish he used something like. I think the only reason why he did that though is because there were no
no bleed or anything.
Yeah, but I wish he'd done it with something
like
off
Love or something.
Well, off like Zeppelin 2.
Yeah,
A Whole Lot of Love would have been good.
Did it with the song that we were, because on Zeppelin, you know, and there are some drumless and drums only versions from Zeppelin 2, like "Whole Lot of Love" and what are the other three? There's like 3 or 4 of them drums only.
Yeah, maybe a Thank You or something.
Well, I wish he'd use those because we're all familiar with the song. What he seemed to do with off Into the Outdoor, we're not really familiar with the song, with the melody and stuff on it to really, I think, have given it a fair comparison. It would have been really nice, I think, if he had done that. And I said this to him, I think I put it in a comment or tried as nice as I could. If he did it maybe with "Whole Lot of Love" or with "Ramble On," so it would be something that we've all heard so many times non-clicked, it would have registered faster versus hearing the boom, boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba. You know,
that's right. Is that what he used?
I think he did. I think
you're right. That's right.
He should have used a song, or somebody should use a song that we're all familiar with.
That's familiar, exactly.
Yeah.
So Ash said Terry looks like Billy if he suddenly disappeared due to an energy drink addiction problem and then reemerged 20 years later. That's awesome.
I guess.
What?
That's very Monty Python.
Then the other dude said oddly specific.
Yeah,
right. I know. I like that though.
These guys are funny, man. We love you, Crazy Cats. There's ML from Ukraine.
Thoughts on Southbound Suarez? You know, I did a video and a demo on that, so I think I kind of covered my feelings about that tune. I think the hi-hat part was overdubbed.
Which one?
Southbound Suarez. I think he was doing this. You know?
Yeah.
But he might have been playing one hand. I did it with one hand, which you could do, you know, but it's quick.
Yeah.
But there's a feel to it. It has more of like this feel.
Yeah, a little bit of that swing.
Yeah, it's that same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's slight. That's very slight.
Yeah, I mean, people understand. I think most people here who are watching understand that. If you listen to the it's like a sped up "Whole Lot of Love."
Yeah,
it's like a little busier with the bass drum. But if you play like I did, you play the 16th notes with one hand, they're going to be like that. They're not. They don't really have that. Bonzo, and you also hear, I can hear the hi-hat at the same time as a crash.
Yeah.
Or at the same time as a snare. It's like, I really think he overdubbed, because I think he was kind of fooling around with overdubbing hi-hats on several tunes at that time. Ozone Baby is another one.
Yeah.
I think Bonzo's Montreux is another one.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right on with that.
Yeah.
George. Especially
I just want to quickly say we intend to have Ty do some more vocals for PFOZ tunes, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, did I do Hot Dog? I think I did Hot Dog.
Now, George, that's not what
I did do Hot Dog. I did it. Sorry.
George's Hot Dog is mine down by the seaside. Step by step.
That sounds oddly very personal.
My hot dog down by the seaside. Lenark playing live, he gets nervous, tighten up, play too. You know what it is, Lenark? I would just say practice breathing exercises before you go on. The more you do it, you'll. I mean, I'm not saying. See, Lenark might play out a lot. A lot of folks.
That's a good suggestion, man. Like deep breathing.
Yeah, breathing really helps because it's acute. It really can. I mean, you just got to remember to do it. Like,
yeah,
really, it actually affects. It kind of wrestles control of your brain from your amygdala, and your prefrontal cortex is kind of like, I'm here. I'm serious.
Neuroscience with cherry eating.
I agree.
It's true.
That's a really good point.
I had rough gigs where it was just a hard, long gig, and my face, I could feel it in my face afterwards. You know that you're tensing up and you're not breathing. Or you're doing a fill. Takes a deep breath in right before like a really hard thing, and then they try to do it, and then they can breathe afterward. That's hard to get rid of it.
There are certain songs too, like see with George has been playing, and you too, Bill. You guys gig so much, but I can tell you the past couple of years when I would do some of those the Kashmir gigs, the Zeppelin tribute band gigs, that a certain song would come up, and I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna play this song. You know how sometimes, especially sometimes if a song's sort of between a faster tempo and sort of slow, there's about a bar or 10 where you're sort of playing real tense, and you almost got to remember to relax. You're like, oh god, no, here it is. And it's frightening sometimes. You look out and there's 600 people looking at you like, yeah. That's the guy that has the Bonzolium channel and he's messing that song up.
It also really helps, like somebody said, to have the material internalized.
Yeah.
If I find like if I'm playing with a big band, for example, even if I'm reading a chart, it really helps if I learn those phrases first, or I play the chart several times, because then you're kind of thinking, like I heard one drummer refer to it as thinking around the corner. It's like you kind of know what's coming up, even though you don't see it yet, or you're not there yet.
Right.
So being able to hear or think around the corner, it's like if you can always be just a little bit ahead of where you are.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like a dynamic. That's like a place to be. Like you're in the moment, but you're also knowing I'm coming up to whatever, or if there's a change that's coming up, a verse or a chorus or a bridge.
Silver artist does that. Like they're a little ahead reading, and they're kind of talking a little behind.
Yeah, that's huge. I feel like too many drummers get in. Their scope gets on one bar at a time, right. and it sounds like that most of the time, right? Because we're so focused in on on one measure at a time or whatever, that we don't really get the opportunity to like get this bird's eye view of what's happening with the ensemble. And so, what you're saying about being a little bit ahead on the chart, even if you are sight reading, I think it's really good to just remember to take a step back, literally a little bit from the page, and see what's happening. If you're so zoomed in, it's like you can
also rely more on your ears at that point in the groove that's already going. If you're thinking about some kind of, if you're playing something sort of a 6/8 thing or something sort of in 3, worst case scenario, the fill's coming up, you're nervous about it. Just don't play the fill and do something safe till the gig's over. You get a ball out, but at least during the time, you didn't mess it up during the show. You didn't mess up the groove. You just,
yeah, it's
it's George and Billy's excellent buzzes. Billy, you got a great buzz roll, don't you?
I mean, everyone works on it. It's tough. Buzz roll theory is like really nerdy, but really interesting to me. Because I have a bunch of, I have some classical friends that sound amazing Like they do a great match grip buzz roll, you know, from like mezzo piano to 3 Fs. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, right.
It's so hard. It's so hard to do that.
Oh yeah, when you see that, and then, you know, there's like Art Blakey's buzz roll, you know, which sounds like
that's just yeah.
He said it starts like a tissue paper roll and ends like a freight train.
Yeah.
You know, I love that. And he could really do it.
If you want to humble yourself, try to play, you know, take a classical gig and have to play a tiny roll at the edge and have it sound good.
Quadruple pianissimo.
It's brutal. It's tough.
Yeah. It's definitely a litmus test.
Yeah.
Same thing with a single stroke.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sure.
So that's why it's so essential, really. I mean, when you're practicing, you know, at the drums and away from the drums, just keep your hands moving. Even on your lap, you know, like even if you don't have sticks in your hands, keep your wrists moving. You know, I do this kind of thing a lot just to keep my wrists somewhat warm. You know,
George, what do you do? You said do what you did again. I think your hands were below your. Just kind of keep that going.
Yeah. Keep your wrist, you know.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I noticed
same thing with double strokes with my fingers. You know, I even do that if I'm sitting at a table. I just go da 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 da. You know, like.
Right, drummers with great hands don't need sticks. They do it with their freaking hands, and they're even. The key is also to having it be even. For each stroke by each hand it's not like it's like
yeah. I mean, it's no substitute for sitting down at a drum set and doing it. I mean, with pad work, and then pads give you an unnaturally quick bounce depending on the kind of pad.
Right.
Ultimately, you got to sit behind the drums and, you know, work on those fundamentals all the time. I mean, that's just like it's like stretching or something. You know, it's just something really basic to playing the instrument.
Right.
Singles, doubles, flams.
Well, it's funny we're talking about buzzes. I destroyed my left wrist the other day. I was practicing my buzzes, and I was with my shake, but with my left hand here, I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try make it a little more German and see if I can just keep my pinky right on there. And something just went in my wrist, and it's been hurting ever since.
The moral of the story is don't practice.
Right here.
Don't get it.
Man, I hope you're all right. Damn.
I just
scrolling back a little.
Yeah, let's get
a comment about a Sonar rental. And
that's Metal Mike.
Yeah. George,
that just came up recently because it was like the anniversary of that gig. I'm such a nerd. I think it's November 5th. It was Kansas City. Now, the story of that gig is Zeppelin had just played in Kitchener, Ontario, and their next big gig was in San Francisco, I think the Fillmore. Mm-hmm. So they picked up a date in Kansas City. Now, nice planning. Ontario, Kansas City to San Francisco. And it was an overnight gig. So they had to send their gear with the crew straight to San Francisco. So they picked up this gig and used rental equipment from either a music store or the opening act. I think the drums belonged to the drummer who played earlier on the show. And you can see that drummer.
Do you have that picture? Do you have that picture, George, or did somebody send it to you?
Yeah, I would have to go digging around, but it's a Sonar kit, and actually the guy's son popped up on Facebook in this Zeppelin chat that I'm a part of. And he said the guy still has the kit. His father still has the kit. And so they asked if he could post some pictures of it. And he said, I don't think anytime soon or something. But, you know, Bonham got notoriously drunk on that gig. I mean, that's probably, if you listen to the bootleg, that's one of his worst performances.
I just listened to all of that today, George, after you sent it to me. And it's pretty wild. You know, John starts out okay, like the first tune and a half, it's okay, but then
that's the first show.
The first set, the first show,
and the second show was supposedly even worse. I mean, it just went downhill from there. And the guy was actually on stage to make sure that his drums didn't get destroyed, but supposedly a couple of the heads broke, and B, that Bonham wouldn't fall off the kit.
Yeah.
You know, like he actually was there to keep him from, and Bonzo, like in between songs, his head was on the snare drum. He threw up all over the drums. I mean,
Christ.
You know, it was a mess. So yeah, the bootleg is just look up on YouTube. Look up Kansas City, Led Zeppelin, Kansas City, November 5th, 1969.
1969.
Yeah, and he supposedly like downed a bottle or something in the break, and then the second set was impossible. Oh, hey, Jude is here. What's up, Jude?
Hey,
Jude knows all this stuff.
Judar.
Let's see. Yeah, they played Kitchener, Ontario. I think it was like early November. Well, it was early November. No, they played Georgia on My Mind in Salt Lake City, 1973, and they might have played it in Japan as well. Can't remember. I think maybe in September 28th. Peter Grant was responsible for the destruction of hundreds of pristine Zeppelin recordings.
Yes, personally, he was.
I'm sure. Somebody posted, Terry, I'm posting a video. Video of vintage marching snares. I'm going to convert to floor toms. I have to replace some hardware. That's cool. So, like, are those like 12 by 15 or something?
Probably the 12 by 15 tenors and the 12 by 17s. They make great floor toms.
I've seen guys make the 17s into bass drums.
Yeah, they do that too.
I have a 16-inch that's made into a bass drum. It's a tenor drum. It's a Camco. I think I sent you guys pictures of that.
That thing is badass.
I have a 12 by 16 Leedy in Ludwig tenor drum here. A shell. It's like a green sparkle. Those Leedy and Ludwig shells were nice, beefy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rings are really thick and stuff.
Terry suggested I do a cover of Good Times, Bad Times with the 16 by 13 bass drum. I just might do that.
You're open, yeah.
George,
if it's a new kit behind me. No, that's my. It's not new. I've had it for about 10, 12 years. It's a gold sparkle Ludwig, 24, 13, 16, 18, and then I just got a hang on. I just got a 10 by 14 tom for it too.
Oh, yeah.
So, sweet.
10 by 14.
Oh, that's bright.
So that's what I used. I used that for the Bonzo's Montreux. I set up both toms.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and so Billy is the one who inspired me to do that to the bass drum. Can everybody see that?
That looks great. Yeah.
Yes, it looks wonderful.
So Billy, you want to go into some detail about that whole concept?
Let's go down the ring rabbit hole.
Yeah, so I think everyone's like, or at least all the Bonham like nerds who are trying to make their kits look like John's and stuff like that. They're trying to figure out this sort of weird ring, on the Rezo head, and it really just, I don't know, it just took me a couple times just looking at a smooth white PS3, right, the Remo PS3 Power Stroke 3. Yeah. Where they have like this sort of edge ring around the edge of the drum head, and that was the most like white, less see-through part of the head, right? The inside was a bit more gray and see-through, and and I'm looking at the Bonham pictures, I'm looking at the Zeppelin stuff, and then this, I'm thinking like this is, the opposite is happening here. It's less see-through in that middle circle, right?
Yes.
Or less
exactly.
See-through. And so I started thinking like, well, what if it was more of like a control sound kind of thing where it's actually a ring, a disc glued on the inside. And I just did it as a test to see what it would look like. And I thought it looked pretty much like like John's bass drum. So.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to find, as you're talking, I'm trying to find a picture.
There's some, like Newcastle 71 is really nice.
Yeah, so the theory, generally, there's sort of two schools of thought. Is that Bonham took a ring from another head and glued it to the inside, or some people think the outside, or like Billy and George are saying that instead of the ring part, they took the donut hole portion and put that on. So what looks like the ring is actually just the regular head part, but then the rest fill into the head is actually doubled.
Yeah.
Right. So can you see this if I share it now?
Give it a whirly.
Okay.
Testing.
Is it there?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
Oh, here it comes. Oh yeah, there it is. That's a
great. Now do you see? So that's exactly what Billy's talking about. Is the area around the edge is actually less opaque, which means that there's probably not material there.
Right.
So if you just like with my drum, it's whiter in the middle and grayer around the outside.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is a nice photo. This is a nice photo because you can see that the bottom, the reso head on the 14 also has that quality to it. The light is, going through it.
Right. It's more transparent.
Yeah.
This particular picture, though, can you leave that up for a second, George, just for a second?
Oh, sorry.
That particular picture sometimes is like somebody had mentioned too, that sometimes it does seem like there's a clear ring on the outside. Do you know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying there is or there isn't, but that picture, though, if you kind of look at it a certain way, in a weird way, it almost does look like explanation might be that there is a clear, so you have the white coat, the white frosted, or it almost like when you look at toward what would be the 10 or 11 o'clock, L, it almost sometimes looks, when you see a real clear version of that, it almost looks, the little space, the 2 inches between the whiter part and the edge almost looks shinier. So sometimes people see how it almost looks like it sort of clips the top of the L.
It's not clear enough to see there. I mean, we'd have to do a deep dive, but
I'm just saying that some people say that. Well, I don't necessarily, but that picture, sometimes some people say that they think that's evidence of a clear ring actually attached to the outside.
Oh yeah, I
think it's on the inside, no matter what it is, whether it's the hole itself or the ring or.
Well, here, let me see if I can.
I still think if you did that, you would see something. I don't know.
Yeah. Let me try to share this really quick and what is all this stuff? Okay.
Robert Scranton's asking about a Formula 60216. They did just come out with mediums. They reissued mediums, which I guess are in fact thinner than medium rides. I had it backward in the video I made, but on the Peisty site, they described the mediums as medium heavy and the medium rides as medium. So I don't know. But anyway, Billy, what are you doing? I don't want to cut you off.
I don't know. I can't do it without closing this box or something.
Wait, tell me, what are you looking for? What picture? I might have it in my stash.
Well, there's a really close photo of the thermo kit.
I know the one.
I mean, in the bass drum is like almost most of the shot.
Yeah,
because John did this with the president head of the thermogloss kit too.
Absolutely. Before. I think before he did this, I think he used crumpled paper in the bass drum.
I'm with you there.
If you could see the shadows of it on certain images.
But yeah, this photo, you can kind of just see the reflection of the light hitting it, and I don't see anything on the outside, so that would just be.
That's right, and I think there's some pictures I've seen where the reflection of the light, it almost has like an oily kind of look. You know what I mean? Like it's spotted
in the grayer part, the ring around it.
The whole head. The whole head has like the way it's reflecting light.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It almost looks like
bubbles. It almost looks like bubbles.
Yeah,
and there's no difference to me between the edge and the middle.
Yeah,
it just doesn't look like there's something glued to the outside to me. But
yes, hang on a second. I'm going to try, Billy. I'm going to try to find that picture. That I know the picture you mean.
Yeah,
it's like the bass drum kind of takes the whole. It's a great.
Yeah, that's right. He used a smooth white head. That's correct.
Smooth.
So,
bastard. Hang on a second.
That's cool.
Yeah. Some people use newspaper stapled up in floor toms, which is actually pretty cool. Or cotton balls.
Oh,
like old big band drummers used to put cotton balls in the toms.
Yeah. The cotton ball thing would make more sense to me because you don't get any random notes. If you're close.
Yeah.
Something.
Cozy was a great drummer. I think Cozy had a really great sound, and in some ways, one of the most similar to Bonham in terms of his snare. Bass drum and snare sound, the feel.
Big.
How would you make a homemade Ritchie ring without ruining the collared part of the ring?
Just don't cut too close to the collar, I suppose.
Yeah. You know,
before it bends over. You know?
There's a fella too here, a fan of Bonzolium and Bonzology or Bonhomology. And forgive me, dude, I can't remember your name. I'm a rat. But he actually he does the ring. He doesn't do the center donut hole like you guys are talking about, but he does the ring, but he doesn't glue it. He literally just sets the bass drum head face down, takes the ring, sets it on, puts the shell on, flips the whole thing over and tightens it up. And the bearing edge holds it in there.
Oh, so he's cutting it out literally right at the collar.
Yeah, right at the collar.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Huh.
That's cool.
On my kit here, I have it. I can't remember if I did it or not. One time I had to do it on the fly at a show. It was terrible.
On the fly?
I actually like the sound with nothing on the front head, too.
Well, yeah. Well,
it's just like bam, you know.
Hey, yeah.
I like that.
Depends on the gig. I think it's a cool sound.
Yeah. And somebody said, did we ever play the Peisty snare, the Ochiltree snare? I played it at the drum pad once.
Yeah. Did it sound
weighed a ton? It weighed 40 pounds.
Oh my God, yeah.
And it sounded good, man. I thought it sounded really good.
And they made full kits, right? Doesn't Denny Carey have a full kit?
Yeah. And who else was that? Shoot, I can't remember his name. I don't remember.
Probably a European fella. European Peisty. It's like Gunter Glan Gluvads from.
Somebody said, I wonder why Bonzo would mount his tom so close to the bass drum hoop. So tom mounted all the way. I think I kind of do the same thing. I don't really like to have my tom up that high.
Well, Bonham sometimes I think used to use a hi-hat felt or a cymbal felt, and he'd rest it between the bottom hoop of the rack tom and the wood bass drum hoop to sort as a shock absorber. That's what Bill Townsend told me that.
Oh,
really? I never knew that.
Yeah, I figured it was like a gaff tape strip or something. On the stainless kit, I feel like I've seen a little strip or something.
Oh, something in there to sort of keep it from. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, here are the comments. I've been looking for the. Okay, Brian Corey George is asking if you have any Zildjian. What do you have, George?
Oh yeah, I do. I've got a couple A Zildjian rides like from the 50s. I got a 20 and a 23 inch. And then I've got a pair of trans stamp hi-hats, like late 40s, I guess, 14 inch. They're real thin.
That's cool.
And then I have several. I have some old K hi-hats on a beautiful 22 inch old K ride. It's like a real Art Blakey kind of cymbal. And I've got an 18 inch old K, and then I have a 20 inch old K as well. So yeah, I have quite a few Zildjian cymbals.
And how many Avitas Zildjians would you say you have, George, versus Ks?
Let's see, 1, 2.
Predominantly K, right?
I think I have 3, and then like a pair of hats.
Okay.
The 16, the 20, and the 16, the 20, and the 23, and then a pair of hats. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and I've got like a Krupa era splash. It's like from the 40s, and it's super thin.
It's all wavy.
All wavy. Yeah.
It's all wavy. It's like 10 inches or 9 inches. And I cut my finger on that damn thing when I reach in the bag. You know, it's so sharp.
That's nuts.
Yeah, Sonar Phonics. I agree, Mike. Metal Mike. Sonar Phonics from the late 70s are great drums.
Yes.
Beautifully crafted drums.
Yeah.
Would Bonzo ever play with a traditional grip? I don't know if he would really play with it, but there's pictures of him holding a traditional grip.
Yeah.
You know, but not much.
I feel like I've seen him do it like almost like he's just, joking a little bit, but right. I just don't think it would really work for what he was going for. When you hear John talk a little bit about it, but like when you hear Carmine Appice talk about playing drums, I don't think a traditional grip would work at all for what they were going for.
Right.
Every time.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I know I've seen pictures of him holding the stick this way. But it's like maybe he was just sitting there warming up or something.
Yeah. There's some nice black and white shots of him from '69. They're on I can't remember where they are. It's in Europe, I think. They're on a stage. But the photos are like really close up.
Yeah.
And then John Paul Jones are there. These are some of the best detail photos of the thermoglass, kit.
Yeah, I think where he's playing is he miming or something? There's a video where he's miming, right? And he's playing that Sonar kit. Is he playing?
He's playing traditional? Yeah. But he's like, he's spinning his sticks and like just clearly not miming and doesn't.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Ryan tuned in.
Oh, hey, yeah. What's up, Ryan?
Here, cool. Hey,
There
Ryan.
Felt
in the house.
Ludwig drums in the house.
Yeah. Bonham did use felt strips, and even usually on the batter head, and you can see, even on the Vista lights, you can see a white felt strip. Even Madison.
Yeah, and he may have used it in the studio on the Rezo head, just simply because there's that picture from Polar Studios where you could see a clear front head
with
the sparkle kit.
Both the heads are clear on the kit, aren't they? The one from
I think so. Yeah.
Hey, and there's Eric from Estonia.
All right.
Robert Plant kept a spare microphone in his jeans. I believe that has been confirmed. The question is, was it a tube or a ribbon? I think it was a tube, Mike.
Yeah.
Robert's pants?
You Mike in your pants, or are you just excited to be at the session?
What do I do with that microphone, for the love of God? There's a microphone, a company called GLS that sort of makes Shure Type 57s and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And their 57 looks just like, what were the in
like Robert Plant's garage at the song remains the same.
In Led Zeppelinburg, you always see them using the same. They look like 57s, but they're a little longer and they're shiny, and the top cap of it is longer. You'll always see it. Gosh damn it!
Are you talking about the ones that are on Bonham's drums on the '73 tour?
Yeah, but they pretty much 70s. And they were like a Shure. I forget the model number. They might have called them 57s, but they had another name, a Unidyne maybe. It was like a Unidyne.
Yeah, Unidyne.
Unidyne 10-incher.
I'm gonna find this. I will find it.
Come on, Terry.
Do you think I have enough shit down here? Well.
My thoughts on the Big Beat series? They're okay. I don't know.
Yeah, I tried to
figure weird about them. I bought one and I didn't care for it, and I ended up selling it.
Yeah, I tried a pair of the 16s, I think, the hats, and I sent them back. I played them for about a day or so.
They're like a weird child of a giant beat in a 2002, and it didn't quite work.
Well,
yeah, they reminded me of like the 20 series a little bit, and I didn't really care for that.
Well, I think that they essentially applied the same hammering techniques that they did on the Modern Essentials, the B20 Modern Essentials on the B8, and then they called it the Big Beat. The 21 sound files sound pretty good. I've heard there's something about that Big Beat 21 that I think sounds kind of cool.
That's cool.
Somebody just asked,
Moxie, shut up. Sorry.
Oh, come on, Terry. You should bring Moxie. Moxie just wants to get in on the action.
I'll bring it out here. So this
probably wants to. Maybe you should.
Can you
yeah.
Compared to a 57, though.
Yeah. I like that cover. Yeah, it's cool.
So if I painted this silver, this portion, it would look just like the microphones that you see on Zeppelin from like 72 to like 80.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about Ochiltree or no? Somebody asked about Ochiltree.
Well, if you want, we can talk about the Silver Sparkle Ludwig set. There's a photo of that if you want. I don't think the timeline matches up with Physical Graffiti, right? The details, if you know like Ludwig stuff and where badges are placed and all of that, it doesn't really match. So that's what I'll say about it.
Well,
Bonzo's tech was Mick Hinton, so it's possible that Bonzo met Ochiltree at some point, which he claimed he did, and it was like there's different stories about meeting him at the Rainbow Theater. He was teching for Billy Cobham. Then there's a story about the LA Forum. Billy Cobham invited Bonham to a show, and Bonham met him and said, "I can't believe you tune his drums. My tech doesn't tune my drums." And he said, "Oh, it's easy. I have a lot of experience." And that story, so that turns into like, I worked for John Bonham. So he very well may have worked for Bonzo. Bonzo might have been like, "Oh, I want to bring you or fly you into the studio, we're going to be recording or rehearsing or whatever, or when they did those shows at Nebworth, the warm-ups in Copenhagen and then the Nebworth shows, maybe he was there.
Well,
it's coming in,
But with that, we don't know. Jason refutes it entirely. Jason says he's a complete fraud.
But you know what happened? I think the internet came around, and by and large, and a lot of people who might have, because sometimes I think it's easy to tell a story like that.
And it ruined the world.
He was younger. It might have started out, like, yeah, I did this, and then it gets a little bigger, and then it gets a little bigger, and then it gets bigger, and then you're at the studio. I mean, like Brian Williams from NBC. Remember he was talking. I think sometimes people might stretch the truth. They don't mean to. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. I think sometimes they just kind of get caught sort of in it. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
a little bit, but I mean, a lot of the claims he made, they're pretty aggressive, like this is a John Bonham kit and he's standing next to the kids. Like that's not Bonzo's kid. So why not say this is a kid that would have, in the style of John Bonham? It's misleading to a lot of people.
Well, yes, I don't know how much that was meant, because if you do watch that video, he says, "I'm standing next to a John Bonham." When I assumed at the time when he said it, he was talking about the fact that it was 26, 14, 16, 18. It was Green Sparkle and it was Ludwig. He was saying it's like not one of John Bonham's actual. But I do know a lot of people that get that tape. They assume it is one of Bonham's kits. Just by the way Ochiltree says it, that Jeff Ochiltree.
Because then he says this drum kit was used on many recordings and live sessions. It's like, really, that kit was?
Yeah.
No.
And then you had, that drum.
Yeah, I don't buy most of that stuff. I do think it's possible he may have worked for him.
Yeah, no, totally, or at least met him. Totally.
Yeah, there were some drumsticks that were like up for sale, and those were definitely, to me, those look like authentic Promuco Bonham sticks. But that's what got this whole thing started with Jason. And he refutes it. I mean, Jason says that Bonzo played. I think he said that he played the Green Sparkle kit in Munich at the Studios for Presence. So,
right.
The tumble dryer Phil. Wait, which one?
Ash Drums is a character.
All right, Ash.
He says
he's onto your game, man, with naming Phils and
the tumble dryer Phil. That's like the
is it pretty much confirmed the Silver Sparkle kit is a myth at this point?
It's pretty unicorny, I think.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Figure it out.
Charlie Unicorn.
I mean, looking at that stuff, when I saw it, the bass drum, like the Silver Sparkle kit that's gone and done like little tours at music shops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That is, two of those drums for sure are from the 80s, I think.
Oh, that's right. That's a good point. Yeah.
Just because all you have to do is look at the badge placement on the drums, and that's
fake. That's fake time there. Yeah.
That's it for me. So I don't think that kit existed. I don't see why there would be a Silver Sparkle order that John wanted, and then he would only use it on one record and not tour with it.
Right.
It. It's weird to me.
I agree. Somebody said, I think it was Foghorn Leghorn said that the ambassadors tend to have more of a Bonham sound than Emperors. I agree, especially early on. And I think Ambassador or Weathermaster. Sorry, I got a little distracted. There's a little bit of a Crack Kills moment there, Terry.
But no, George, I'm totally with you.
There's Moxie. But yeah, you can hear that sound is very, very it just has that openness and a little thinner sort of, higher frequency that Emperors you just don't get.
No, yeah, I feel like the Emperor sound is a bit more thuddy. It's a bit shorter of a sustain. And I feel like the Ambassadors have more of like this. They're not timpani heads, but they do have a lot of I feel like there's a lot of pitch fluctuation in it, where an Emperor is just like, it's a thick sound and it's really.
Right.
Well, you also have the vintage Emperor. You also have, what Remo makes, two different Ambassador, two different emperors now. There's the vintage emperor and the regular emperor, and then the vintage ambassador and the regular ambassador.
Right.
Yeah.
The vintage ambassador is 2-layer, right?
Ply, yeah. Whereas the regular one they make now is just 1 ply.
I really like the sound of those tuned up, you know, a little tighter too. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I like it.
Moxie, sorry, she was
70s 411 super sensitive, cheap 402 alternative. What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. If you can modify it, yeah, it's the same shell.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
I had one for a while actually. I sold it about 5-6 years ago, but I really liked that drum, and it sounded just like, you know, an 80s era.
AJ here on Bonzoli and Bonzology is making an adapter for the super sensitives, so you don't have to drill your super sensitive, so you can put your P83 right on with them.
That's right. Yeah.
That's AJ Venolator.
Yeah, I agree. An Emperor on the bass drum doesn't have the Bonzo sound either. I agree with that, Alessandro.
I mean, I think because I did a session to try to get like the sort of levy sound, like the especially the kick sound.
Yeah.
And you know, I did a lot of different things, and the best sound that I got was putting a smooth white ambassador control sound on the batter side. And to me, that just there was way more attack. And the problem with having an Emperor on it, I couldn't get like any of the high frequency and any of the definition, even putting a mic on the batter side, which I did. It was like, you know, having some thinner head cranked really gave it that sound and made it live. And, you know, and I think that's entirely possible too. Like if we're talking about John getting a new kit for that session, which is mentioned a couple times, you know, the second Green Sparkle kit shows up at Headley, right? And they just set it up in the foyer and started working on it. That, to me, if it was new and from Ludwig, it would have shipped with Ludwig, you know, Weathermasters.
Yeah, the DB.
Right. I think I've seen evidence of Remo heads though on the stainless kit, right?
Oh, I think Bonham definitely did. Most of the time, if you look at his batter heads, they're Remos.
Yeah, and I think that it's very possible those were Emperors.
Yeah, well, you know, I will sometimes put Emperors on. I put Emperors on a 26. I had it like I clear Emperors front batter and Rezo on a 26. And to me, it was exceptionally. I'll tell people sometimes put on Emperors on the bass drum.
I know he used a black dot on the back of the bass drum though too, or silver dot.
Yeah, right.
At least at some point, but you know, he might have broke a head and somebody put that on. You just never know. But I feel like the toms to me sound on those live recordings from '77 and from Nebworth. Those toms sound like Emperors more to me.
Yeah, they are super dead, super thuddy. They don't sound like the Green Sparkle kit, you know, and definitely not the Thermogloss kit at all. You know?
I think that's true. You know, somebody just mentioned something about Mitch Mitchell and his fills on, well, just his fills really, but like his fills on Hey Joe. And I was just thinking about this yesterday, which is interesting that somebody brought this up. Charvit Dabir, I think it is. He said something about Mitch Mitchell's fills possibly influencing Bonham. I think that they're not like real unconventional fills, but you know, I think he's talking about like the, you know, that fill, the triplet fills.
Yeah,
Bonham used a lot. Mitch uses that fill a lot too. You know, those triplet fills. You know, yeah.
Well, that one fill Bonham has all over the first record and early on. Yeah.
And also the paradiddle fills too.
And is Hey Joe is 67, right? Not 68.
I'm not sure. I think it's 67. I think it's earlier than LZ1 for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and Bonham's covering that tune, right? With Plant.
With Band of Joy.
Which that recording's amazing. Or that one and For What It's Worth. You guys like check that out. For What It's Worth.
It's killer. Yeah.
Amazing. I love it.
Yeah, those Band of Joy tracks are so great. I wish they were better fidelity though.
Right. Yeah.
You know. And there's a paradiddle phrase too, you know, the one that he often plays. Yeah. That, you know, that's very Mitch. So Bonham was listening to everybody around him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Ginger, you know, Mitch, and then seeing maybe great jazz drummers here and there. Like if he saw the Count Basie band, he would have seen a great jazz drummer playing with him, or, you know, even guys like Krupa and Buddy Rich and stuff. They do shows in England, you know, and they were on TV. So you just absorb those things. I think he really had he had a great ear, and then he could be like, oh, what's he doing? And then, you know, he'd sit down and kind of come up with his own version of that.
Yeah, right.
Well, and like if you're talking about the classic Bonham pattern, right? The like left, right foot, that looks amazing too. Like that looks really cool. And I think that's also something that John was thinking about. Not that he thought it mattered, I don't think, but I think it was certainly something he wanted to do, you know, crossing hands and doing all that stuff.
That's right. Yeah.
Really exciting.
So Metal Mike wants to know our thoughts on Rudd. I think Rudd had a great feel and a really nice sound.
Yeah.
His pocket, he's one of those guys who I don't necessarily think of him as playing ahead of the beat. You know, I think of him as more like in a way behind the beat, but I haven't really analyzed him because sometimes drummers like that, they can give you an illusion.
Yeah.
Like their feel, you might think, oh, he plays behind the beat, but then when you play along with it, you realize they're playing like
right on the beat.
They're like right on it or even a little ahead of it, but somehow it still sounds like
it's like Charlie Watts. You know, Charlie is way on the front side.
Exactly, but it sounds laid back, and I think the reason for that is it's like it's like someone's walk. You know, it's such you can't teach that. That's just like, I mean, you can try, but it's sort of like their natural personality, like their style of movement, or like how they walk or how they run. It's
solid as Sears. I mean,
and if you're relaxed, even if you're playing on top of the beat, if you're relaxed, it's going to sound relaxed.
Yeah, right.
It's not sound hyper.
And where is the beat? That's like, you know, if we're going to record it and put it on a grid, sure, right?
Right, exactly.
Like, the beat is only framed by the other players.
Right, exactly. That's the hard thing sometimes to explain. Right. When you mean before, after, or before the beat, or it's where the melodic instruments stand in relation to the discrete notes.
That's right. Yeah,
about the drummer, that is where they play.
Yeah, but I think Phil Rudd's amazing. I think he was able to sort of frame those riffs and put it, you know, in the right place. So whether he's maybe playing dead center or just the snare drum is laid back or something, I feel like they are so grooving. The AC/DC stuff is like really heavy because it feels really good.
You know? Right.
It has a lot of weight to it, and I think that's really important for the vibe. You know, if everything seemed like it was on top of the beat and anxious and like really high energy, it wouldn't have
everything anchored. He keeps everything anchored, and he's not like a real busy fill player.
No,
he suited the band really well. You know, that way.
Yeah.
Ian Pace, definitely very jazz influenced. Another one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's another one who played a lot of triplets and rudimental kind of stuff. He's one of my favorites, really.
Ian Pace.
Yeah, I love Ian Pace's playing. I saw Purple about 8 years ago, I guess, and he was just amazing. I mean, I wish I had seen them in the 80s, you know, when I was going to concerts, but I was glad I got to see them, and it was with John Lord wasn't there, but it was Steve Morse was playing guitar, and Ian Gillan and Glover, and it was an incredible concert. Yeah. And Pace, just his hands were so great. You know, he just nailed every arrudiment. Of course, he knows everything like the back of his hand, but it was such a great show. One of my favorites.
He's his parrot, his rudiments, and his.
I think John Densmore is a really good drummer. I don't think of him as like a great drummer, and mainly because, you know, a lot of people talk about him, I guess, as being a jazz type of rock drummer, and I know he's like real into jazz, and you know, but as far as like great jazz drummers go, I put him like way down the list. But he's got nice, you know, I mean, I like him. He's a good drummer. I think of him as like a very good drummer. But
for me, I think John Densmore is a bit kind of like Ringo, where I like his position in the band. You know, I don't really think. I mean, I like Ringo's drumming because I'm a huge, you know, Beatle nerd.
And it's so unique the way he approached the songs. It's the same with Densmore, really.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like Densmore does a lot of color stuff. He's, you know, it's totally in line with the idea of the Doors and what they were trying to do.
I actually feel a bit that way about Moon too. Even though Moon, I just love Moon for being a titan of the drums, you know.
Yeah.
But Mooney in other bands, I don't know how that would have worked out.
I don't think it would have lasted very long. I don't.
Well, is that Moon playing on Beck's Bolero?
Who?
Is that Keith?
Is it Moon on Beck's Bolero? I'm not sure. I didn't think so. Somebody else who's more knowledgeable will know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, Neil Peart is one of my all-time favorites too. And actually, when I was in high school, I was almost as fanatical about him as I was Bonzo. Always more with Bonzo. But back in high school, I obsessively learned all the parts to at least four or five albums, Farewell to Kings and Pictures, Spirit of the Radio, all the way up to Signals. And then that was when I almost did a complete, that was when I started to focus on jazz, really. But I used to be extremely, focused on Peart's playing.
Well, George, you should do a tutorial on the Spirit of the Radio. Da-da, 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 da-da.
Boom. Yeah.
Yeah, you totally should, my friend.
I know. Somebody asked this twice. Would you know what size and line of cymbals Bonzo used on Zepp 4? I'm gonna Terry, go. You can answer that one because I gotta get up my charger. Sorry.
I say giant beats, and I think he alternated between 15-inch giant beat hats and Formula 602 hats. That's what
I think too.
Yeah.
I think he probably had a mix of giant beats and 602s.
Yeah. You can really hear, the giant beats on, like When the Levee Breaks and No Quarter. I know No Quarter is on a later record, but that was.
Really that definitely sounds like Giant Beat all the way.
Giant Beat had so Down by the Seaside is Giant Beatville. But yeah, I would say original Giant Beats and probably also a pair of 602. Because there's really like an original pair of Giant Beat 15-inch hats. If you get a good sounding pair, they're great.
That's what I have set up right there.
Yeah, like that. I mean, they almost in a weird way sound edgy sometimes in a bizarre way.
You can hear what they sound like. Does that come through?
Yeah, it's a little, yeah. Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah. They're very thin. Yeah. The weights on these are
890.
They're like around 900.
Can you give us the intro to rock and roll?
Those are really thin. Yeah.
It's probably gonna be too loud.
Can you do it anyway?
Yeah. Did that just like break the speakers or
internet went
just a shitty mic on the laptop. So
oh brother, I gotta tell you, you know how many people would murder to be in that room with you right now? Look, I'm serious. And I've had the honor personally of.
What about your basement though? Look at that, man. It's a candy store down there.
Yeah.
What is all that? There's like somebody was asking about a blue sonar kit. Do you have a sonar kit back there?
No, you know what that is? That's a Sonar Force 2001. Sort of before, it was sort of in the period of time where they discontinued the 1000, 2000, 3000, and before they went to the 1001, 2001, 3001. It's a sort of a long story. It's sort of a Luan shell, although it still had, the 2000-y looking lugs, and that particular one actually also came with the slotted sonar material too. So, but it's the Force. There's a good sonar site, a sonar museum that explains all that. But that's the only drum I had. That is
okay.
the kit I have.
Somebody said,
that fella,
Bill Ward. Yeah, I love Bill Ward. Bill Ward is another one. He's integral to like that sound and feel of Sabbath. Plus, he's another Birmingham guy or Black Country guy, isn't he?
Yeah. Ward and Bonham were pretty tight.
Yeah.
Like I like the first Sabbath record. The only track that I don't really care for is the drum solo one, which is called Rat Salad.
Rat Salad, yeah.
Really, it's not really my thing, you know. I don't really. I get it. I understand why they wanted to do that.
Yeah.
This is like the birth of like the super group. Everyone gets like a
feature.
Yeah, but with Sabbath, it was never really like that. I didn't think. I never really got that impression. They were trying to do something way cooler than that, you know.
Somebody else mentioned Jim Gordon. Oh, that's Ryan Jervik. Oh man, Jim Gordon was just so incredible.
Yeah.
His feel, his sound, the way he interpreted the music.
Right.
If any of you aren't familiar with him, check out his work, like with Clapton and Delaney and Bonnie. I mean, I think that somebody had asked about the Giant Beat ride.
Yeah, 20.
And then when did he go to somebody else asked about the 2002. Well, Bonzo was using the Giant Beat ride with the 2002s on the 73 tour.
Yes.
And then I think in 75 is when he went full time onto the 2002 ride.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yes, I'll buy that for $9. I do think, it's funny. Peisty Bob throws the screen and the song remains the same at that shot from above, where you can see Bonham with his 2002s, but you can see the Giant Beat embossed stamp at the 3 o'clock. It was like freaking,
Same with the pictures from Kezar Stadium in San Francisco.
Oh, I've been looking forever for that picture. Finally, Paige put it in a freaking book.
You can, yeah.
I saw it years ago, and I could never find it until somebody's like, "Hey, Terry, you see this Led Zeppelin book?" And then there it is, Peisty Giant Beat.
Yeah. Ziggy Modalist is one of my favorites. Steve Kolderup just brought up his name. Zeppelin, I believe, really liked the Meters. I mean, you hear them talk about the Meters, the funky Meters from New Orleans. And I would just love to know if there's a story of Bonham and Ziggy actually hanging out. I think that the Meters were at the party that they had at a studio. Was it Cosmos Studio in New Orleans in May of 1973? If Jude is still on here, he'll probably know the history about that. Oh. But they had a party, in New Orleans while they were on the 73 tour. It was in May.
Oh, wait, on 73?
Yeah. And the Meters were there too. And there's a picture of Bonham with Professor Longhair.
Yes.
That's the party.
Yeah.
Party. And I would love to know about Zig and Bonzo hanging out, because I really think that Bonzo heard Zig and then was quickly incorporated some of those things, like the way, just the way he played a lot of grooves,
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think the squeaky bass pedal was just simply a common accepted issue of that day. I mean, I had a Speed King in high school. It squeaked. Everybody's Speed King squeaks. I think, and also they didn't have, I don't think they cared. There's so many jazz recordings where you hear a squeaky hi-hat or a squeaky bass drum pedal.
Yeah. There's a lot of Beatle recordings too, especially the early ones that Speed King is in there.
You can hear it, yeah.
But only if you listen for it. It's almost like if no one told you it's there, you might not notice it unless you've heard it a bunch of times.
Well, there's
Alex Van Halen, opinions on his snare tuning. The funny thing about Alex Van Halen is he played a supraphonic, right, Terry?
Yeah, well, at least back in the day. Yeah, he's always about a 6.5 by 14 Supra.
But the thing is, even though I think of it like it's similar, it's really different though too. And the ironic thing is he taped the shit out of his snare.
More sounding, but to me, I'm like dude. But
that one overtone note is still there.
I think interval though is pretty much the same as Bonham. I really think that it's kind of like a really taped up Bonham sound, kind of.
Yeah,
because you get the you know,
totally. Yeah,
it's almost.
No, I never saw Zeppelin live. None of us saw Zeppelin live. I was just a little too young. I had my ticket form ready to go though in September of '80. Got the bad news the same day as I mailed the ticket order in.
Oh my God, I know that was
very same day, man. Do you remember that in Chicago? It was September 25th, and that morning before school, it was dark out still. I remember it was like 5 a.m, and I was just so geeked up to get it in the mail that I dropped it in the local mail at like 5 a.m, and then I went to school that morning, and that's when I found out about Bonzo.
Well, the Tribune, they ran a full-page ad in the Tribune. I remember it said what did it say? A&R concerts, A&R something in Concerts West present.
Yeah.
In concert, and they had the Dudesicle, the swan songy guy. And at the bottom, it was, you'd cut it out and you'd write your stuff in there. You'd put the cash or the money.
All of that, yeah.
Envelope, mail it off. You get your tickets.
There's some questions here. A lot of Joe Morello and Bonham's playing. Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Lee Kerslake was great, man. Lee Kerslake was great. He passed away recently. I think, right? I think he did pass away recently.
George, Scott Orthy has a question that I want to refer to you. When I use my rim shots to play loud snare, the lug closest to the rim shot gets loose. That happens a lot with the 1.6 mil hoops.
Yeah, it does. They sell things to keep them from creeping out, but I have one. I have like this little red washer system. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a red lug lock thing or something. It doesn't really work that good.
Yeah. But you just kind of eyeball it at the end of the song. Manually just keep the it's usually one or two lugs, usually right where you're hitting it. Usually one of them's worse than the other.
Right. No, I did not end up with a ticket. Got
all those tickets.
What?
I told my God, we knew somebody that worked at the Chicago Stadium box office.
Yeah, they had them all stacked up there. They sell them on eBay. You could just buy them.
Yeah, some guy ended up buying them all, and he sells them framed.
Yes, right. Purdy influenced Bonham, I think so. Absolutely.
It's a counterfeit though, because those tickets were they almost like construction paper. It was like, they were kind of. I think they could have been very easy.
Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, and we were talking about gig stories. I remember.
Oh gosh.
I don't know if I should go into that whole story.
Eric probably bought some plastic locks. Eric, you talking about the ones that look like headstones that have the key thing? Wait, what were you saying, George, about the
little nylon locks? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I bought these little red things. Here.
Are you talking about gig stories though?
Yeah, we were talking about something like a horror story thing happened. I don't remember.
Here it comes. Here comes the magical Supra that 90% of people here would kill you for, George.
See these things?
Yeah. Oh, the little I've seen them.
They don't really work. They work better than using nothing at all.
Yeah.
But they still come loose too. So, it's probably better just to use a simple washer or something,
How come drums they don't use lock washers, that have the little you know what I mean? Like where
Eric Hubley said he used plastic locks. They work, fine. That's
yeah. Have you guys seen the new Supras when they get shipped? Or maybe they don't do this anymore, but they used to. Like the mid 2000s, they were shipping them with little rubber black circles that went on the tension rod.
Yeah, like that.
Ryan might know about that.
Yeah, I have one right here actually.
Because I have a modern Supra that has that, and that seems to work pretty well.
But the
Steve get tight screw tension rods.
Hang on, what the hell did
I've seen those. Yeah, I might try those.
With it has a blue nylon or something in it.
Here's the truth. The truth is, if I were playing shows, playing Zeppelin, or playing rock and roll that hard, I would definitely
Yeah, every night.
Every day. But I'm, you know, I mean, I don't often play 2.5 hours, 3 hours straight battering the shit out of my snare drum.
Yeah.
Now, since the pandemic, I mean, you know, I was playing anywhere from 3 to 5 nights a week, sometimes even more, playing 2 or 3 hours a night, but never really like hitting rim shots constantly, you know.
Yeah.
So most of the stuff I was playing, like, I don't really loosen up lugs that much, or rods rather.
I feel like I noticed it at the end of a gig, like very end of the night. I'm like, oh, this is loose, but I just tune it back up and it's okay. I mean,
so
it's not feeling terrible to play on. I don't.
Moxie's hanging out, huh?
You're talking about the little black.
Yeah. I think they work pretty nice, you know. They seem
because I never understood how they work, because if it unscrews, what does this do? It'd be different if it looks like it would keep it from screwing in anymore. But how does it, you know what I mean? When you unscrew it, this thing, that's the thing I never understood about these guys.
I don't know, but I feel like maybe if you start it at the actual nut and then start to tune it, it might do something. I don't know, but
I know what you mean. Well, people also have those ones that
the tension rods are probably better. Like that guy Steve recommended, the tight screw rods.
Yeah.
I think those are a good possibility. I'm going to try those actually.
DW uses a finer tuning on their stuff, right? Like the true pitch.
Yeah.
Swap out the inserts, maybe, and use those tension rods too.
But I'm with you, George. I just don't. It doesn't happen enough for me to warrant that. I don't really need to worry about it so much.
Right. Yeah. So we're keeping up with the questions here. It's good to see so many people
on a snare drum
on a Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, is that what day it is? Gosh, I have no idea.
I know, man. I went to the post office today. I forgot it's Veterans Day. I needed to ship a PFOZ T-shirt. By the way, I should make an announcement. PFOZ has T-shirts in case anyone didn't know. It's our logo, which is based off of the Jimmy Page,
whatever
you call it, the symbol.
I have my I have the T-shirt here. I got to put it on.
Yeah, so if anyone's interested in a PFOZ T-shirt, contact peoplesfrontofzeppelin@gmail.com.
Yes,
and we'll give you the instructions on how to make the purchase.
Do you have one of those T-shirts there, George?
I don't have it handy. I have one upstairs, I think, somewhere. Yeah.
Cool.
All the way upstairs. All the way upstairs. It looks like it's black, and it looks.
Yeah.
Get mine. Get mine, George. I gotta bring the dog upstairs. She's gonna malfunction.
I can answer one of these. Eric Hubley. Another talking. Oh, where'd it go? Another talking point. Any drum hacks on how to stop the internal snare mufflers from loosening and rattling? Take it off.
Yeah, I know. I get so frustrated because this one here. This is the old baseball bat type on the 60s drum,
I hate those.
I know. I mean, I kind of like how it looks.
It's a beautiful design. It looks sweet.
I'm hesitant to take it off, but this thing, it's off now. See? So I put it on, and then it's like pushing hard against the head.
Yeah.
And after about 30 seconds of playing, it usually kind of slides down.
Yeah. There's a reason why Ringo had a cigarette pack instead on that.
Yeah.
There's no way he was using that on the Beatles. Yeah. That's for sure.
Thoughts on removing lug gaskets on modern kits?
Lug.
Does that mean between the shell and the lug?
Yeah, I got to tell you, I play the Rogers Dynasonic reissue a lot on gigs.
Okay.
The wood Dynasonic reissue, because I have a vintage one and a couple metal ones too, and I just don't really want to gig them out too much. And that the reissue is amazing, but they have these gaskets on it. And being a nerd, I wish those weren't there. So I'm actually considering taking those off.
Hey, Scott Orthy says, George, you shameless hussy. I guess Terry is being the hussy for me right now.
Yeah, he's
Terry. Yeah, the back is the best part. for all the Monty Python fans.
Hell yeah!
Thanks, Terry.
Loves you, baby. I thought I had it right here, but it was all the way upstairs. It was all the way upstairs.
Yeah. Well, I think there's some interesting questions going on here.
Yeah, see what we got.
The bottom switching the top.
The 2.3 rims versus 1.6. Yeah, personally, I think so because the drum just opens up more. I prefer the thinner hoops with the Supraphonic for sure.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I feel like the thicker you go, the more stiff it gets all around, and it can be really hard to get a big sound.
Right.
That drum, unless you're like wailing on it, like we were talking about the Spirit of 2002 snare drum that weighs 40 pounds. You know,
right. Yeah.
You guys have Picard Maneuvers talking about the old Tama one-touch tone control.
Oh.
This is a one touch, so where you get it to where you want to be, then it engages, disengages, engages, disengages. That's a good.
Wow. Oh, that's cool.
Is that coolio?
Yeah, and you had one handy. That's wild.
Right.
You need to open a drum store down there, man.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to sell.
Is it possible Bonham would have switched to Tama in the 80s? I don't know.
I mean, maybe, but I also don't think that John was that concerned about his gear. I really don't. Like, I feel like, you know, he liked cars more than drums.
True.
You know, I feel like if he thought his drums were working, then he would probably just say,
seems like,
you know,
it seems like a lifelong relationship, really, unless something went really sour.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
I don't really see why he would have gotten curious. I mean, Ludwig made everything. They made steel. They made acrylic. You know, he loved the wood drums, obviously.
Yeah.
Some of the Ludwig folks said that the Vistalites almost put Ludwig out of business because they invested so heavily in it.
Oh.
Did you ever hear that?
Terry, who would you recommend for buying 1.6 millimeter? Like Drum Supply?
The Drum Factory Direct, DFD.
Yep.
They're the best. And these are them. These are they.
Those are those?
These are
them. Are those? What? Wait a minute. Say no to crack.
These are them.
I can't resist, man.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I don't have it. Here. I'm backing up.
Yeah.
I don't have hips. Pants don't say I don't have hips. I simply don't. Look at this. I'm going to wear this in a video.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
This is going to be
headscarf.
It's my 1967 Summer of Love suit.
That's totally what that is.
Oh wow. It's like a Robert Plant blouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, no t-shirt though, man.
Yeah, right. That's got to be.
Yeah.
Like what is when you see like in Stonehenge movies where there's always somebody dancing, they're going like.
Yeah, you're a druid.
Yeah. A druid.
Yeah.
Who's the new guy? Somebody said, "Who's the new guy?" I thought I went through this all.
I found the link. I found the link somehow, and I just decided to jump in.
Yeah.
We got to get Ryan in here. Next, you know, we'll have 17 people.
What we should do is put in ton after our names, each name: Georgington, Terry, Keatington, and Harrington.
Frostington.
Yeah.
There you
go.
Shit. Pearl 10 lug 14-inch ones. Yeah, I have a set of those. I think they're called like Pearl Tone or something like that.
Yeah.
They're 14-inch 1.6 rims that Pearl makes.
Oh yeah. They used that gauge for a long time, and then they went to the 2.3 Super Hoop.
Yeah,
they were the company that really sort of started with the 2.3 Super Hoop concept.
Yeah, I feel like Adrian's saying that he's only seeing the Pearl lug, or the 10 lug hoops maybe, but they should be there. They should have a generic one.
Fat tone, that's right. Fat tone. Yeah. No, I mean, I think you can get like the generic ones.
Yeah. I buy those all the time from DFD.
So. Yeah, you'll find them on the page. Just type, you know, it'll say they offer 6-hole, 8-hole, tender.
And you order custom depths.
What?
Does Ludwig let you order custom depths
for drum?
Yeah.
I think they consider it. I think it depends on who it's coming from. Because I remember talking to Steve Maxwell when the Legacies came out, and I wanted an 8x13. And
special or a Keith Moon-ish special 8x14.
Yeah, and he made it seem like it might be possible, because they started doing the 12-inch depth bass drums, which is really cool.
Oh, yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. I used to have a 2212 Gretsch bass drum.
Oh yeah, that probably killed.
Liked it.
I love that size. Yeah.
Is that like the Chico Hamilton?
Yes, exactly. That was what my dad ordered, a customized Chico Hamilton size kit. That's right.
20x12 is more like a 26x14, like proportionally as far as length.
Yeah, right. It's got a very fast response, a 12-inch bass drum.
Get that wow.
Oliver is here from Ireland. Hi, Oliver. Looks like Adrian Manuel says ones made by DFD are way cheaper. Yes, that's correct. They are much cheaper.
$1 a piece, the hoops.
Yeah. I thought Drummers Supply also had them. Is that not right?
I don't know. There used to be Drum Supply House.
Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry. That's right.
Yeah,
Drum Maker. Yeah, Andy Foote at Drum Maker is really cool. They're cool.
What is he still around? He's a cool dude.
I think so. I mean, I haven't talked to him in a long time for parts and stuff.
That's cool. Right?
What's up?
Foot with the knee.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember that.
But I like. I feel like DFD does have more like weird things in the custom world, and they have like a lot of brand parts, like the pearl hoops and stuff. So I just been going over there.
You know what I thought about was like getting a. Well, I mean, I live in a house, but I thought like be kind of cool to live in the Ludwig lofts. Did you ever consider that at any point? When they converted the old Ludwig building to lofts?
Yeah.
I didn't know they did that. That's cool.
Yeah, I thought about it. I was like, I wonder what they go for. And I looked it up. They're not cheap, man. They're kind of up there,
Yeah, but if they converted those babies in the mid-late 80s, you'd have gotten them for cheap.
Sure.
In Milwaukee and North Avenue was
it was still developing. Yeah.
It was still coming up even through the mid-late 90s.
Yeah, but I think it would be cool. I was in the factory one time because a friend of mine, a guy I knew that lived down the block, and we went to high school together. His name was Chuck Adamczyk. His father was the foreman of the wood shop. And so when I was like really, getting into playing, and I was like in high school and acquiring parts and stuff, that's actually how I got my Supraphonic. I got a set of hard shell cases. I used to get sticks and heads through Chuck's dad. So he would get me stuff at like cost. Like when I got my Supraphonic at that time, I got it through Chuck's dad. And I went to the factory to visit. He invited me to come see the wood shop, which was really cool. That was like 1981, I would say. 82.
That would have been great to be there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
I mean, when they moved, dude, they threw stuff right out in the garbage. They were throwing stuff in fact, they threw all the records of endorsements. And like, if you wanted to find out what serial numbers and stuff Bonham had, they went out on Damon Avenue and they threw them away.
Yeah, man.
Stuff, they just threw it out.
Let's see. First Zeppelin song I learned, and what Zepp song do you recommend others to learn first? Man, I mean, I can't remember what the first song was that I learned. I know the first song that ever got my attention, that really got my attention, though, was No Quarter. And it's because I saw The Song Remains the Same when I was about 11 years old. Yeah. It was like October of 1977, and it was still running in theaters. And my dad took me to see The Song Remains the Same, and I was mesmerized. I mean, at that time, I was into Kiss, and like just pop radio, like WLS AM radio. And then I got into Kiss because my friend was really into Kiss. Yeah. So I was like trying to draw the Kiss characters like Gene Simmons and Paul. Yeah. The Notebook and stuff. I was in the Kiss Army. You guys remember the Kiss Army?
You were in the Kiss Army?
Oh yeah, baby.
Fan club, yeah.
So when I saw that movie, I was mesmerized by Bonham because I played drums, obviously even at a young age. I was like, this drummer is unbelievable. And he's got this fire orange drum set, Yeah. And No Quarter was mesmerizing. So when I got home, I found the song. I was looking through my dad's albums and he had Houses of the Holy and I found the song and I put it on. So that's like the song that attracted me to Zeppelin, but I don't remember what I first learned. I would say, you start out with the ones that have kind of a simple or repetitive, well, none of them are simple, but that have like kind of a repetitive groove, like
I feel
good time. I mean, Communication Breakdown is
kind of that was my first tune, I think. Yeah.
Heartbreaker.
Yeah. Song is good because it's, I mean,
Terry
Lemon Song. That's not a bad one to do.
That's yeah.
Somebody suggested Tangerine. Somebody said Battle of Evermore. Yeah, that's a great one. You just really have to listen on that one.
Yeah, right. Oh, Tangerine's great. Yeah, that's a great.
The Rover is a great one.
I noticed the only song I hear Bonham in a recording speed up in is Tangerine. You ever notice toward the end?
It does kind of, yeah. Aside from Stairway to Heaven, which gradually speeds up.
Stand by, give me 2 seconds.
Yes, I remember Drums Limited. I remember when it was Drums Unlimited, and then I think it became Drums Limited. That was where my dad got our first, the first drum kit that I, was acquainted with.
Was that was a Chicago store?
Yeah, there were 2 famous stores in Chicago. Both of them were on Wabash Avenue downtown. There was Drums Limited and Frank's Drum Shop.
Oh, Frank's. Okay.
And both of those were very well-known shops in town. And I spent a lot of time going in and out of those stores when I was in high school. Ash asked about the drum fill. That sounds like a cannon toward the end of Darlene. Not sure I know what you mean, but is it the big fill? The big fill? I've been working hard. I've been saving all my money. I've been trying to get back home to you. That fill?
Yeah, the buttons.
Yeah.
He just goes back and forth between the floor tom and the snare.
Yeah, it's triplets between the snare and the floor tom, and I think it's his right hand exclusively.
Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, I could demonstrate it, but I don't know what it would sound like.
Oh, is that the thing where it's like a grouping of 4 in triplets? Is that what you're talking about?
Here, it's like this.
Yeah, John liked that. Like he does that a lot.
That's it.
Yeah, malfunctioning. It hurt a great deal.
I feel like John uses the left hand though. I feel like it's a grouping of 4.
I think he does this. So it's his right hand, and he's playing on the cymbal. Like, because I think what's happening is you hear the ghosting with the left hand.
Yeah.
Is it on? Yeah.
It's like the bottom engine-y because the left hand is hitting at the same time as the bass drum.
Yeah. It's like daga 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 boom.
And he ends with a little da 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 into the
crash. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great fill.
Yeah.
So it's triplets. It's da 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 da, but they're subdivided into 4s. So that da 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 da. Sorry. Daga 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 boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over the bar, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Ash, that's what I thought it was actually, but because I feel like I've seen John do that, but his left hand is on the tom, the high tom, the 15. And
really?
Yeah, no, he does a similar fill. Yeah, I
right left right kick, right left right kick.
Yeah, right. That's possible too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm thinking on Darlene, I'm hearing that snare go in between the.
Yeah, me too.
In between the bass drum.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that.
Yeah, Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's another thing he does. There are sometimes live though when you see him at the Stainless, and even I think where he does a similar fill.
Yeah.
Same concept over the bar kind of thing.
The same as a Rain song, and it's exactly what Billy's talking about. It's like a daka dugu daka dugu daka dugu daka, and his left hand.
Yeah. So
I felt the coldness of my winter right there. Where I never thought chaka chugga chaka chugga chaka chugga, and the hi hat's going chico 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 with the bass drum. It's alternating with the bass drum.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and actually, Ash, that's one of my favorite fills. This one.
Yeah, that's exactly Rain song. That's exactly where it is.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite fills where he goes. It's a similar idea because this is going.
Yes. That kind of thing. And that is all Bonham engine-y, I might point out again.
It's Bonham engine-y, but it's triplets instead of 16th notes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why was Bonzo's snare sound so high in 77? I think that they were recording his kit differently, and you're getting a lot more bottom mic.
Yeah, snare side.
So it sounds crispier.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but if you have a 57 right on top of the drum head, that's you get all high end. Even if the drum doesn't sound like that from where you're sitting, you put your ear right up to the edge where that microphone is, and that's
true.
It's like
high. But I feel like I'm hearing like more
snares.
It's a different quality sound, right? It's like more snare wire than it was before. Like when you hear this, at least on the soundboards.
And like when you see footage from like Seattle.
Yeah.
It's real. Yeah, it's not. You're not, especially when you hear Moby Dick played in that circumstance. It sounds so different than like Song Remains the Same. You don't. It's just so you almost when you hear him doing that cool snare stuff, it's kind of like instead of like
right.
Sound is impressive. It
is
does.
Repro Ching Ring. Somebody asked about the Repro Ching Ring. I have one. I think it sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, somebody got sued. That's why they stopped importing them.
Oh really?
Oh man.
Made them. Isn't it Canon? You could buy them for like $14.95 or $19.95 all through the 90s and the 2000s, and then suddenly one day they were gone. But every so often you'll see them on sale on eBay for I think $24. The repros, but there's a couple things different about the repros. The repros are chrome, whereas the originals were nickel plated.
Right.
And
so the originals are a little drier sounding.
Like here, the original almost like here's an original. And then the repro is like.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's a little brighter, higher.
Yeah, but also too, the funny thing is that the originals are start out low and then go up and come down like this. If you look at it from the top, whereas the repros do the opposite. They go down and come up, like they're almost inverted, kind of. It's strange.
I knew you would know. I knew you'd be able to forensically break this down the Ching Ring.
Well, it's like the reissues are more of a Paiste Novo China, whereas the original is more of just a regular squish. Did you hear that though?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way darker.
73 all day long.
Yeah, totally.
This is more Santa sleigh bells.
Yeah.
Somebody asked if Bonham was miking the top and bottom of the snare. Yes, a lot of the time at least. I'm not sure, like in the absolute not earliest days. Sometimes in the early days, there was just one mic above the kit.
Yeah, right. A 57, right?
And some gigs weren't even mic'd.
Yeah, we're talking live.
Yeah.
You'd see like 57 above him, and then one in front of the bass drum.
That's yeah.
That's out of hand, man. That's serious.
Yeah. But I think by 71, 72, there was a top and a bottom mic.
Snare wise?
Yeah, like a Unidyne, right?
Yeah, like
in an SM57 or both.
Yeah, they
combination thereof.
Yeah. It's I'm telling you, man, we gotta get the answers to all these questions and more. We have to we gotta kidnap. We have to meet up with Jason Bonham and or Jimmy Page. Pull a car up and be like, hey.
Yeah, I know. I was dying to know what he played in the studio for Bonzo's Montreux, and I don't know if we'll ever know because there's no photos. But
well, for the love of the Christian Science Monitor, somebody must know. I'm serious. We're gonna get
all, of course, members of.
Joseph Andrewchik. Yes, I would say the rezos are always tighter than the.
Oh, I missed that one.
Side. Definitely.
Somebody wanted to know about tuning.
Yeah, that's like your classic big band tuning, like resonant heads, pretty cranked.
Yeah, they're high. I mean, typically.
Yeah.
And then you have, I would say, Connor S. Yes, buy the Ludwig Bonham Amber Vistalite kit, the modern one. I'd say yes, it's a buy.
Rupert Pupkin, exactly. The king of comedy. That's such a great movie.
Sandra Bernhard
man, she's so great. Yeah,
she's in that, and yeah. Oh my God! Look, dude, we've been.
What are you gonna do about it, Jerry?
Yeah, Metal Mike Sugar Mama's is a outtake from one, I think, right? Sure that's a Zeppelin one.
Yeah, but was it part of a broadcast or something though, or is it just an outtake?
No, I think they were going to use it on the record, but they cut it.
That's a hard tune to play, actually.
Sugar Mama.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, it's
because the bass drum is relentless.
How did would you show us kind of how it's done?
Well, the bass drum, it just simply goes do do ba 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 doom do do ba do do ba do do ba do do ba doom, and to keep that up at that tempo, it's cool for like 30 seconds, and then after about a minute, you're going, discipline
to do.
Yeah, it's tough.
I like Ludwig Silver Dots, man. I think they're cool. They're super fun. They don't sound like, I think they sound way different from the Black Remo Control sound.
Are they brighter?
Yeah, they're like, I don't know, they're thinner. Like all the Ludwig Weathermaster stuff, I feel like it just has this different tone, and they're thinner in general. I just like the way they sound.
Yeah. So they made it silver because of the probably copyright issues or something, right?
I would think so, yeah. They just look cooler, I would say, right? I mean, if you have a catalog, and you have this chrome dot on your drums, and the drums are see-through, like,
a
lot more exciting with black dot.
I had a couple for a while. I mean, I don't remember them, Back when I used to put dents and break heads and stuff.
Yeah, doesn't make their own heads anymore, I don't think, right? Don't they sub them out?
Who?
Ludwig. They don't make their own heads anymore, right?
Does Remo make them for them?
Remo, yeah. Don't they have like a little Remo logo on them now?
Well, yeah. I mean, like here, I have but there was a period of time, like here, you can see on this brand new. You can see.
Oh yeah.
USA, but no. But I want to say for a while, even before that happened, yeah, there was a period of time. I don't know. I don't know. I'm losing my mind. So. Yeah. I thought there was a little envelope of time before they were offering the Remos on their kids that they had somebody else crank their heads up for them, but I'm not sure. I don't know.
I see. Picard says they are Remo's making the new Silver Dots.
Cool.
Which is a shame though, because I like the way the Ludwig collar worked, because it's very different from the Remo collar.
Timpani collar, kind of, right? Like
they're really thin. They're cool.
Yeah.
Someone was asking about the amber, the amber Vistalite having bigger floor toms. I don't think that was ever a thing. I personally don't think. I don't know. I don't buy it. And
you mean that he had an 18 and a 20?
Yeah, I could see John having a 20 as like an extra drum if they sent him stuff to use.
Yeah,
but I mean, a 20-inch floor tom is huge, and like if we're talking like subbing out the 16, 4, and 18. That means that 18 is going to be right against that 26.
Yeah, right.
Like it would be pretty clear, because if you get the maple kit,
Well, the other thing is, an 18 is 16 deep, and a 20 would be 18 deep. You'd see a disparity of different depths.
Yeah,
you never see different depths with Bonham's floor toms.
Yeah,
I've never seen a photograph of his amber kit with different depth floor toms.
Yeah. And the spacing between the lugs, I think you would know, you would see that, on the 16 if the lugs look too far away with where the badge was.
Yeah, it would look like this, sort of,
Yeah.
You know what I just discovered? This is super nerdy, but there's some pictures from the San Francisco show that's outdoors, and you could see his amber kit real clearly in the sunlight.
Kezar Stadium?
Yeah, Kezar Stadium. And there's the shots from the right side. So like looking right at his floor toms, you could see masking tape lines for where the legs go, and then there's tape on the shell.
Yeah. 2 little white strips of gaff tape.
Yeah, I never noticed that before.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
It was red. There were red, white, and blue.
Somebody says they saw a photo from behind the vistas where the second floor was deeper than the first. I would love to see that, because that would be a first.
Yeah.
I don't recall ever seeing that.
Yeah.
That could be an optical illusion because the floor time being closer. Sometimes it could be right. I mean, Townsend used to say that that's what they used to use. So if somebody put together the kit, it was color it had to do with the floor tom legs. Yeah. I exactly what he said, but I have a video that he sent me.
Terry, the two Atlas stands are red and blue, right?
I think yes, I think so. In the video that Bill Townsend sent me, I had to take the sound off because he had a whole lot of love.
Right.
Just blasting. Yeah.
Blasting. So you could hear him, and he had, who he kind of sounded like? He sounded like a little bit like, who's the guy that used to say, "We'll leave the light on for you" in the commercial, the hotel?
Oh yeah.
We'll leave the light. That's how he talked. He had a kind of like that, but
somebody here will remember that.
He's talking about that there was some sort of a tape, a red, white, and blue tape code, so that even if
it stands.
Yeah,
I think the stand by the hi-hat had red tape on it. But somebody said I should do covers of Danish TV. Yeah, at some point I intend to do that. I like to do that. I haven't really been able to do as many videos lately because of the lockdown, and
oh my God,
my wife is working from home. I mean, when I start bashing on these things, the sound goes straight up.
Yeah.
So let's see. There was a couple things I wanted to address.
Yeah, what other questions people have? We got to answer.
I'll be right back. I need a second to pee. This is a long thing, but this is good.
I'm going to have to jump off soon, but we could still keep going for a little bit. But yeah, we've been on 2 hours.
Adrian said
the run going.
Bonham might have hit a 22-inch floor tom as well. Moxie's losing her mind. I got to
go outside.
An 18-inch floor tom. In fact, I almost got a 13-18 here. An 18-inch floor tom rules.
Oh yeah. Somebody asked if Bonzo used the tone control on the snare and toms. I think he used it on the snare a lot. I don't think he used it on the toms at all. I mean, you can see pictures of the Vista lights, and that's actually like bent all the way down.
Way down, like
somebody bent it. It's unnaturally low.
Yeah, they're bent, like on purposely, totally cranked low. Like I think they're real. I think that the knob is cranked real tight.
Yeah.
And then they took a pliers or something and just bent.
It would be fun to do something with Derek from Bonham, from Kick It Like Bonham. Somebody had suggested that. Maybe we could get in touch with Derek sometime.
Yeah, that's what it is. We'll leave the light on.
That's it. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, this has been a good run, man. I'm gonna have to jump off pretty soon here.
Yeah, I got a boogie pretty soon too. Billy Harrington just ran off.
Well, we all have bladders.
There he is. Into the neighbor's house.
He looks more relieved already.
Okay. Did you guys already answer this question about the 20 and the 22-inch floor toms?
No. I said I've heard that, but yeah, why don't you tell us, my friend? What's your?
I've read that only from A Thunder of Drums, so I think that was just sort of a an embellished legend from the 18 and 20s, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah.
But I can't say I've ever seen a 22-inch floor tom by Ludwig in any series ever. So unless it was like.
Yeah, Thomas, please send that picture if you can. You can send it through Instagram, but yeah.
Yeah, or any of our email addresses.
Yeah. Did Zepp do any recording with Tony Thompson after Bonham? Never, no evidence of that, right?
See you, Todd Roy. Yeah, I don't know. Not that I know of.
Not that I've ever heard. I mean, nothing concrete, but maybe. So.
Well, should we get ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, I think we probably should. I'm going to have to jump here. So this has been fun, though.
Yeah.
This is as long as a Scorsese movie, 2 hours, 20 minutes.
Direct cut.
Like,
the last thing I'm going to say is the Speed King. When I get the new reissue, I'll do a little video with it, but I haven't received mine yet, so I don't really know.
Somebody gave me a Bonzolian fan is giving me a reissue Speed King.
Wow, really? That's awesome.
Yes, I can't think of his name right now. I'm such an arsehole. He's a good man. He's like, Terry, I'm gonna send it to you. He boxed it up.
An arsehole.
I think it's arrived. I gotta go get it. My brain is fried.
Oh man, that's great.
Oh,
the post office is closed today.
I went over there to see if I could get it. I didn't realize it was closed. I forgot it because I'm a scout.
Yeah, I agree. I think the thermo bass drum was really incredibly great sounding. Maybe the best sounding drum he had. I don't know why he changed that up.
I think it was only because it was a custom order and Ludwig wasn't prepared to do it, and I'm sure like he wanted the green kit and they're like, what do you want? A 26, cool. We only offer.
Yeah. He never again had a 15. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. So.
Well, guys, it's been fun.
All right.
Glad we had a little time to devote to doing this today. Thanks everybody for joining us too.
Thanks, people.
Yes, folks.
Yeah, how do we say goodbye with this new?
Never can say goodbye. I just hit end broadcast, and then you guys go off into the ether.
Oh, okay.
I think so. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to Bonzolium and Bonhomology and whatever Billy Harrington has. Do you have a YouTube channel or anything, Billy?
Oh, not yet. I'll figure that out. 5 minutes.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, we got to hook you up, Billy.
Yeah.
Well,
thanks, guys.
All right. So George, you just let everybody do their thing.
Yeah. You can leave studio. There's a little X at the bottom. So cheers, everybody. Take care.
Cheers.
All right. Rock on.